live.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna paint my my back wall. What do you think? To like match Dave's, like that black gray. Like all weekend I was like, I want to change my office around. I need something new. Blah blah blah. And then I just cleaned my office this morning, and I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good. I don't need to do that.
All the people here already. Man, I can't even keep up. So, here we go. I'm just doing a couple housekeeping things here. The back signal. Well, it's because the music's playing.
I just like leaned in.
You just leave the music going the whole time? Oh.
Disturb. Let's see. This is an REF show. 4 hours.
Your do not disturb.
Yeah, I was talking to Amy, and she's like, I was like, I'm podcasting here in like 10 minutes, and I said, and it's an REF show. She's like, oh, it's gonna be so long.
And that's bad because
it's not bad.
It's
not bad. How much do you have prepared, Mr. Ariev? How many notes do you have? I can't hear you.
Lost your audio.
Uh-oh, your audio went bye-bye. You probably did some keyboard shortcut to mute it or something.
Actually, it doesn't say he's muted, so...
Audition.
I'm dripping.
Nope, nothing. I can't hear you. I see your work.
Oh, I had the mute button
going.
The
local mute button.
Smart. Yes, and also I had like the chat was blasting at me at the same time as you guys, and I was getting really confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. I woke up like 30 minutes ago, so I might be a little bit low energy today. But I did prepare, Matt, as you were just asking. Yeah, well, I mean, I actually crowdsourced this one and got all my LCR crew to ask questions, so... So we'll cop out.
So I'll go ahead and start recording while I'm thinking about it.
Sounds good.
Dave, you're stepping.
You're sounding garbly.
Is it the usual? It's the usual.
It's the usual.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna go to.
All right, I'm rolling.
I'm gonna go to this instead. Can you hear me better now?
Yep.
All right. You won't hear any music or anything on the feed at the end.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
So in case you know.
What is this, amateur hour?
All right, is everybody rolling?
I am rolling.
I'm rolling.
All right, we're going to do a sync clap, which will be 1, 2, 3, clap, all right? Here we go.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3. Awesome.
So good.
Cool.
That was fun.
All right.
Yeah, it's the most fun part of the show.
All right, well, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
It's over. All right. I got all my notes here and things, and I think we're ready
I got
to
all
go.
my notes too.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, right.
They're all in my brain hole.
Sure.
Yeah, your brain is a hole.
Aww.
Oh.
All right. All right, if everybody's good to go, we're going to start this thing. I can't even keep up with this chat. Good Lord. All right.
I know. We're going to hit 100 messages like within the first 10 minutes.
Right. I like how it gives you a congratulations.
I know. It's like, hey, you're cool.
Yeah, congratulations on having a couple people follow you on YouTube. All right. Here we go. What's up and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt, and joining us today, first up, as required by Mograph law every quarter, Mr. David Ariev. And super excited, Mr. Stuart Lippincott. You guys probably know him as Stuzor.
Hello.
And Mograph is a supplement to our
Just
site,
speak like that.
mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects, plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. You can email us, info@mograph.com. Let us know what you think about the show. Questions, comments, concerns, queries, grievances, show topic ideas, artist suggestions. We're open to everything. Info@mograph.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, mograph.com. There is no way that you can't not find us on the interwebs. So send us something. It could be a noob thing, it could be an expert thing. We do not care. Like this email from Vicky, who is asking how to make a bid on cryptoart.
Yeah.
And
It's a pretty general question.
she says she registered on Nifty and Coinbase, but she was talking about the fact that Beeple said on the show that like his parents couldn't bid at one point or something, and wanted to know kind of like what the process was. Maybe something we can talk about the show. Hope you're both doing well. Have a great new year. Sending a virtual hug, Vicky. First off,
let me
before we go into
go
this, I will say how convenient, and I would like to say we planned it this way, that Stuart has a Nifty drop tonight.
Your first Nifty drop,
So this is a good topic.
I want to ask you, because I was just looking on it. So you're selling in indigenous, right?
Yes.
And are you doing like a 5-minute free for all like people did, or how are you doing it?
He's got 3 drops.
So there's 3. So oh crap, let me see if I can remember how this goes. Okay. So one of them is, I think it's called Open Edition, and I think it's like $250 for like 10 minutes or something, and like however many people can buy it that want to. So there's no closed. So just 10 minutes, as many people that want can buy it. The other one is if I remember right, is a silent auction. So like no one really knows how much the price is.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's fun.
And I thought you were doing a regular old auction.
Then I'm doing a regular one too.
Oh, you are. So, but isn't there like a 5K edition of 10? Because it's smart to me that you're like covering all the bases. You've got like, one for us poor folk, and then one
Me
for
too. Yep.
yep, and then one for the medium folk, I guess, that can afford a 5K, thing.
I don't think I have a 5K one on there.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Let me go look.
Well, it says Control Mechanism 5000 edition of 10.
See?
It's weird. I'm
okay.
confused
I know
about
your
the
drop
Nifty.
better than you do, bro.
dude, I'm telling you, like when it comes to this stuff, I get so confused because yesterday I was trying to make my little stupid little promo thing, and I was like, I don't have a link to like a site, like it's on like Super Rare, like you have like your own page, but on Nifty, I was like, crap, like I made my account and I could see like my dashboard or whatever, but I didn't have like an actual page to go to, and so I just like, someone was like, where do I go? And I'm like, their website? I don't know. I don't have like, and I don't know. I don't know how it works. I wish like, man, like, cause I see like all these, I have friends of mine that do this stuff and they just like, are like promoting the crap out of it. Like they make these crazy like promo videos, like all that stuff. I'm like, I'm selling something on Nifty Gateway. You can go buy it if you want. Like that's about it. Like there's no other promo. I mean, I did some yesterday, minimal. And then I think I mentioned it once today and it's like, it'd be cool if someone wants to buy it, but
yeah. Well, so there's.
I think you're gonna make a ton of money. Like Nifty Gateway is like the golden standard now, thanks to people, and it's like definitely the most exclusive. And
I wish their web app like on the phone worked better. It is gross.
It is. It's pretty bad.
Like when I'm trying to find like
because I call Mr. Winklevoss.
Right.
Yell at him,
Winkleman.
But I go on there all the time to check what the latest lowest price for the Beeple ones that we bought were, because I like knowing how much when I need to sell in order to afford my pool.
Yeah,
that's the whole reason I buy these things as an
swap.
Investment so that I can buy a pool, right? So, yeah. Anyway,
so, Stuart, are we going to be getting a pool from you? Is what we
absolutely. Yes, you will. It's just one of those $15 pools from Walmart. It's not. I mean,
gotcha.
I don't know. Like, I don't know how I. It's weird. So I made a sale, And then I was like, how the crap do I get this from this digital wallet into an actual bank account? And so apparently you have to send money from your wallet to, I think I did Coinbase. So you have to send it to Coinbase. You have to like copy in this like 32 character long like code. And then like, if you screwed up, man, I was so nervous because like if I didn't copy this dumb thing, right, I just sent, thousands of dollars to some random person somewhere. And so you have to like send it to your Coinbase account. And then when it's there, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like the stock market while you're on there, because what you do is then you sell it to the internet, I guess, or to people that are buying Ethereum or whatever. So, and the price you can watch it, it just like goes, I think it was like, I sold it like when it was $1,234. And then like 10 minutes later, it was like $1,244. And then it went like to $1,200. Like, and so it's weird. It's kind of like this like live like stock thing. You're watching it go up and down. And you're like, okay, I want to sell it now. And then, it's kind of cool. And you actually do get money from it for those people that are wondering. You can make it into actual money, usable money. So it's pretty cool. I don't know. It was a cool learning experience, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen tonight for sure.
I like what Martin says in the chat. Is there a guy talking super fast? Like in the regular auction?
And 20 versus Suzor.
Suzor. The guy has to read everybody's crypto tokens.
Their tokens. 55517. Every time a new bid comes in, they got to read it off every time.
I like what Billy said in the chat. Sending from one address to another is always nerve-wracking, but that's why you always do a small transfer of 0.01 to test it. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Sure. Very good idea.
But the thing is, if you want to do your first one, Nifty's a good one because you can use just a credit card and not worry about all of the crypto stuff. And so I guess with Vicky's question in mind, just knowing what I've learned so far, you've got the ones that are easy to buy, you got the ones that are hard to buy. The ones that are hard to buy are going to be the ones that everybody's just full-blown bidding on for the highest bid. I think the best way to go about doing your very first one would be something like we did, where with Beeple's, where there were 200 or 300 copies, right? And so it's easy to get a copy as long as you're there right at the beginning and you've already have your card information in there. Do that ahead of time.
That part of the process did not work right. I feel like it's more important if you want to get like the very first edition to have money in the wallet or in the site already, because their credit card system, even though I went in and saved it, we had to re-enter it. And
that's why I ran into that problem too. Dave was able to actually get one for me.
I didn't have that problem though, which is weird.
I tried to get in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I tried to get like one of his $900 ones, and like an idiot, I was on my phone and I was like, I'll just do this on my phone. And I was sitting in my living room, and by the time like the 0.2 seconds had passed, I was like, crap, I got to get to my computer. It was already gone.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Crap.
Yeah.
So
it was probably one of the best investments I've ever made.
Yeah.
You know,
it's already worth it's probably going to be worth 10 grand.
Yeah. I mean, so we bought one of each, and then flipped the Bull Run one for basically what we paid for all three of them. And so now well, who cares? Like, I mean, it's free money, right? Like right now we're sitting at $17,000, in worth for the two together. That's crazy.
Do you guys see the meta drop that happened? If you look here, so Metacoven, one of the two people bidding on that final thing with Illustrator, however you say his name. Just the drop itself is so meta because it's just footage from his computer of him bidding against Illustrator, and then the bid coming in at 777,000 at the last second. So that's the crypto drop. And it sold for 3,333, which is not that much. It's pretty hilarious to me. Yeah. So, should I call you Stu or Stuzor or Stuart? I'm like having an internal crisis here.
Just call me Stu.
Does everybody say Stuart that way because of SNL?
Stuart.
What are you doing here?
It was what was it on? Not Mad TV. You guys remember Mad TV?
Oh yeah.
Stuart.
Yeah.
So what was the process for applying to Nifty? So did you apply to Nifty or did they approach you?
I applied to both of them. Nifty Nifty was so Super Rare was kind of tough. Like it took about 5 weeks for them to get. I actually applied back at the beginning of November. Before like I heard that Beeple was doing it or anything like that. Who was it? I want to say like F Render. Like he was like talking to me about it, and he was like, dude, something pretty cool. And I saw that he was kind of getting involved in it, and I was like, all right, this looks something. I didn't really know much about it, but I thought it would be kind of like a cool thing to get into. Well, it took them until like mid-December to get back to me.
Probably because they got a huge influx of people.
It was right after People's thing.
Now, maybe I got the wrong information. Like I thought that Nifty was. I thought they had to approach you.
No, apparently there's an application process with a video.
There is, I think, I'm pretty sure there's an artist application. It's a little questionnaire thing.
Do you have to submit a video like you do with Super Rare? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just kind of hey, here's me, which is super awkward. Like anything.
Yeah,
for sure. And
I'm gonna for mine, I've got a teleprompter back there, so I'm just gonna like write something and then read it off. So
you guys watch? Do you guys ever Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh yes. Yeah.
So when they write the thing in crayon and he's reading off and he's like, will be good. I do color. Like he's like. Anyway, Always
that's
Sunny,
what you thought of. Yeah.
It's good.
That'll be my audition tape for sure.
So they see your papers in crayon. You wrote it and just like.
Yeah.
You should sell your audition tape as
as
crypto art. That'd be so good.
Yeah.
I bet people could do that. Like he has enough clout. Whatever it is, like somebody
that would just be the text message between him and the Winklevosses.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Hey man, let me in. All right, you're in.
Can I get like a video of that and play it on my computer and then record myself watching it and then make that my own drop?
Right.
And then I'm watching you watching that.
Yeah.
Right.
And so on and so forth.
And then you compress that into 1 pixel and you give it back to Beeple and he puts that 1 pixel into a new piece and he drops
and
that.
It's the most expensive pixel to ever exist.
That's right.
Like a banana
was made of gold now.
$1 million pixel.
$1 million pixel. And then you shard the pixel. Never mind.
Cryptoception. Cryptoception.
Cryptception?
Cryptoception.
That's weird. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, real quick, I got before we move into everything, just wanted to, which we already did.
Sorry.
I have a couple week wrap up things I want to throw in there. And number 1, Winbush's game night on Twitch.
Yeah.
Y'all got to make sure that you're making it out to that. Made it out the other night. Had fun. There's a new I forget what the name of the game is.
When like Mario, so with like Mario Kart, for instance, if there's like 20 or 30 people, how's that going to work?
We do some switching out. Other people just stay on. We just stay on and chat, and we'll just take turns. That's what we've been doing. If we have too many. Cool. Like me, I'm not a huge gamer except for specific games. So sometimes I'll like either let my daughter play, or I'll just sit and just chat on the stream while other people play, or. But we did play one that's really fun where you log in and it comes up like you're on Zoom meeting, right? So you've got your picture and your audio. This is something you could do if you're like not live streaming with your friends, especially during COVID times. But it logs you in, and then you play this game that's very similar to Cards Against Humanity with your friends. And
nice.
Like you get all the cards in front of you. You can click. Someone's the judge.
You're talking about the Jackbox games or what?
Yeah. I believe it's the Jackbox game.
Yeah.
My daughter.
Those are fun.
My daughter beat everybody at that Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, that's
game.
amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, make sure you join us for that, and you can get all the information from Winbush's site, from his channels. But Twitch, you can just search for Winbush. Join us on Saturday nights. Usually like a little Zoom link we'll kind of pass around. So if anybody wants that to join, just let us know. And then, by the way, we are going to do a Creating the Unreal Student Showcase. This is going to be a Thursday night special. February 11th, tentatively, is the date for that. But I'm pretty sure that that's going to happen on the 11th. And so it's going to be me, and then Winbush, and then 3 students of the Creating the Unreal class, and some of the stuff that they've created. We're going to show off and talk about it a little bit. And Feeding Wolves, if you haven't seen some of her posts online, you got to check that out. She posted one the other day, and I was scrolling through my feed, and I'm like, oh, somebody else doing Ariev's course. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, that isn't. I was like, she did. Course. Yeah, I was like, she did motion capture, and she had this whole scene that was like super like cyberpunk looking, but it was her in the motion capture suit doing all the motions for the character.
Oh, that's awesome! I need a mocap suit.
Yeah,
you and me both.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my own acting for everything.
Yeah,
and watch me parkour.
Yeah, she did this ice creation thing where she did all the movements and everything on it, and then Jags is going to be there, and then what was what's the track thing you have on your class? The track, what would you name that lesson with the cars?
It's just like a futuristic racing lesson. I don't know.
Okay,
it's lesson 7.
Yeah, because Logan made this like Unreal version.
He made a video
game.
Right?
Yeah, and turned it into a video game.
And I played it.
Oh, you did?
I played it, and I tried to beat his record, and then I did, but then he beat my record. And it's the jankiest, like you clip through the floor. It's probably the most frustrating experience of my life, but it's amazing that he built this. And so, yeah, like, it's hard not to just like hit the bank and go over the side or just clip through the floor. So that's the whole game, is like trying not to, fall off into infinity, basically.
Seems
and then you respawn and you respawn below the floor, so you have to start all over. It's like the hardest game ever created.
Well, maybe you'll have an update by then,
Yeah. No, I'm sure he'll have bug fixes.
Yeah.
This is like cyberpunk era, as we all know.
It's like Rainbow Road or something,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, very tentatively, still trying to work out guests and dates and everything. February 18th, another live special, Many Hues of Mograph Part 3. So make sure you stay tuned for that. There'll be more information on that online. And I also wanted to mention, Stop Being Afraid of Houdini. 18.1 updates are coming. So they're not in there yet. Mark is working really hard on those. He's doing a lot of work on this. Yeah. I'm just saying. So if
basically going through the entire course over again.
Yeah. So if you buy it now, there will be more updates for 18.1 later on that you'll be able to see. And yes, so quickly, I wanted to also go to Ravcock. What's your flavor?
What's your flavor?
I was waiting to see if you do it. Yeah, you did.
And I just wanted to bring up again, like 3090s, 3060s, building things.
Yeah.
Best Buy website sucking and whatnot.
It's not. Here's the thing. It's not too bad. Like versus like Walmart or something where like if you don't get there in the next 3 seconds, I feel like Best Buy has all of these little things that you have to do manually in order to weed out the scalpers who just, automate everything.
Mm-hmm. And while Billy, I must have said 18.1. I meant 18.5. Yeah, okay, sorry.
Like if you don't mind waiting and sitting there and waiting, you can very easily get a 3090 or, a 3060 Ti. Yeah. Well, yeah, but you also had the issue where, your email wasn't working and blah, blah, blah.
They were not sending me a code to my email in order to just purchase. It was in the cart. I was like, the card's there. I want it. Nope.
So, but I mean, literally, we were able to purchase another 3090, a 3060 Ti, because we're going to fill up Meeseeks with 4 3060 Tis.
How much VRAM does this have? Like 8?
It's got 8, but they're only $400.
That's good, yeah.
So like, and right now, because everyone's like mining crypto and stuff like that, I was able to resell my 980 Ti's from years ago, for like $225 a piece.
Nice.
So we've got 1080s inside Meeseeks. They're going for $400. So it's basically like we're just upgrading, that's good. For for just the inconvenience of having to go through eBay, but we got a 3060 Ti, we got another 3090. We're still thinking about buying 3 more.
Are the 3090s easier to get than the 3080s right now?
Yes.
Probably.
I mean, I don't know. I've never tried getting a 3080, but like,
I'm assuming the 3080s are more used for gaming, and the 3090s are kind of more in the professional bracket right now, which is good.
I would
for
assume
us.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we've been able to get 7 in the past. Like
we
2
almost had
months
8, but it spit it back
almost
at us.
Had 8. Yeah. Yeah. I bought 2. So interesting. Like, if you have a second window open, like if you reopen up the thing, and I don't know if this will actually work. So if you copy the address while you're waiting for it to add to cart and open up a new thing and paste that same address, once one of them says add to cart, the other one will as well. So
but then they'll kick it back to you as soon as you buy it.
Yeah, so it kicked it back to me, but I'm curious if that's because I was on that account or not. You know, I don't know.
The thing is, we're looking for Founders editions. Like
we just want the Founders
We don't
edition.
want any variations, weird fans, or any of that mess. But we ended up getting some, though. Built another machine yesterday with my daughter. So she's pretty lucky.
Woo!
Because
RGB makes it go fast.
Yeah, makes it go brrr.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah, so the thing is, being the daughter of somebody who does a lot of rendering, Emily gets a new computer to play games on, but she also gets a ridiculous computer to play games on.
Yeah.
So we built this yesterday, you know, kind of had the lesson on, I mean, she's done this before because we built her own. So this is kind of like lesson 2 on how to build. So I let her do a bunch of this, you know. So we basically, I accidentally ordered 3 fans, but it was actually 3 boxes of 3 fans. So I have all these extra fans. So it was really
you got to
fun,
put them
though.
all in the case, man. Mike, I've got a case full of
in there.
all over.
No,
there.
I have a case. My latest build has 10 fans in it.
Just because.
But this
right?
is open air.
This is
dude.
open
you're right.
air.
Right.
That's
Okay,
so
fair
funny.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, but we made it like match the lighting and all of that. It does really cool things with the fans, like little wipes with the LEDs and all of that mess. So it was a lot of fun. But now we've got this.
Hours.
We got this whole thing here, and like my biggest issue, and I was talking to David over text about this last night, is trying to figure out wattage issues, because now that I have the wattage under control as far as the power supply, now it's the battery backup that's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll start rendering, and all of a sudden it'll be like, oh my god, what's going on? And and even to have like little steps up in the wattage in these battery backups, the price of these things just mine is 1,000 watts.
I managed to get away with like 1,200 watts though with my 1,600 watt power supply, and it works just fine. It never beeps at me. So maybe that's lucky. Maybe it doesn't actually reach that full capacity of the PSU.
Right.
Even though I've got 42080 Ti's, you'd think it would get a lot higher than 1,200 watts, but maybe not. Maybe the actual power draw is not as high as you would expect. But with the 3090s, I've heard that it actually exceeds what they've written, which is like 350 watts, and sometimes it draws more than that, which is why everyone was, freaking out and being like, no, you can't build a quad 3090 setup. That's crazy town. It's going to draw too much power and all that stuff.
Yeah. I almost went with the 2,000 watt backup last night, but that was like $900. So I found one that was in the 450 range. That's 1,500 watts, which
is a good price. I've got one
1,500
watt one, and it's like 80 pounds, and I used to drag it around on set in my DIT days, and it was the worst. Yeah.
Man.
You know what the problem about building?
You could just set up autosave and just not have battery backup. That's what I do.
It's not an option when you're transferring footage, like $1 million worth of footage.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Well, it's also about protecting it from.
Yeah, you don't want like a power surge to like knock out everything, and
right.
But yeah, Dropbox helps with like files, and if they get corrupted, you can always step back a version and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like those little flashes, or brownouts or something where you get like half of a. Half power for a while. I've had that damage things before. I gotta have something like that. But the problem is about buying a battery backup, especially an expensive battery backup that's like $400 or $500, is that you feel like you've bought nothing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like
This isn't even
Fair.
useful. This doesn't make me render faster.
right. It does nothing. You spent $500 and there's this giant 100-pound box sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
It's like it's like buying an expensive power strip. You really feel like you did nothing, but
Right.
Yeah.
you're protecting your investment. It's a write-off. I get it, but
The other thing with those, I don't know if this is too deep of a nerd out, is Dave and I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat knows what the heck is a volt amp, because they're always advertised like 1500 VA, and it's like, oh great, this is 1500 watts. No, it's 900 watts. Like you have to search and dig a lot of the time for the actual wattage, and they kind of obscure that because that's the value that matters way more.
I bet Billy knows. I could
bet
have just
Billy
Googled
knows.
this ahead of time and found
Billy's
out.
our
A volt
chat
amp is the
expert.
unit used for the apparent power in electrical circuit. The
Okay.
apparent power equals the product of root mean square voltage and root mean square current.
That's what I
I
thought.
some of
come
those
on.
words.
Yeah, it makes
That makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
But the confusing thing is, like, some of them are. So there were two of them that were each 1200 amps. 1200 watts, right?
Mhm.
But the volt amp was different on both of those. One of them had 2000 volt amps, and the other one had 1500 volt amps. So it's not a direct conversion. So that's the part I don't get.
It says here in direct current circuits, this product is equal to the real power in watts. So if you're, I guess if it says
So
what?
confused.
2000,
2000 volt
then it would,
amps.
if you were doing direct current, which we are not,
Oh, okay.
right? We're AC, not DC, correct?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So.
I think so. Cool story.
Cool story, bro.
Let's talk about Stuzor.
Anyway, yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
Do I have
Oh,
anything else on
okay.
here? No, that's it. All right. Stuzor, Stuart, whatever
How,
you're.
how far back does the name Stuzor go? Because
Yes.
in my mind,
So, yeah.
it's like your first screen name from when you were like 13.
No, it's not my first screen name
Okay.
for AOL. That one is rough, but it is. So first generation Xbox Live, Stuzor was my Xbox name.
Sweet.
And
Do you
so
play
anytime-
Halo? Just curious.
Do what?
Do you play Halo?
Love Halo.
Do you play Halo 5?
I had to like delete some of my crap off my Xbox because I got like a.
You do
What
now.
you're saying is you have an Xbox One.
I have an Xbox One.
And what you're also saying is that you can join our Halo squad and own some noobs
I
with us.
could join your
Pwn
Halo.
the noobs.
I'm rusty. I mean.
No,
yeah,
that's okay, dude.
That's okay.
Okay.
I still
would
play.
happily. I'll have
That
to
would be
re-download
amazing.
it. I'll have to download it because it'll take me 10 hours to re-download the.
Oh,
the,
yeah, of course.
Master Chief Collection. Right now, me and my 3-year-old just went through and just beat all of the Lego Star Wars, like the old.
Oh, hell yeah.
Came out in
Nice.
2000. We beat played from episode 1 all the way up to Return of the Jedi. Like, it's so funny, dude. He holds the. I'll show you. He holds the controller with his hands. He holds it like this.
Oh, funny.
Like, that's how he holds it. So I'm
Pinching.
like sitting over here looking. I'm like, all right, come over here and use your build button. Like when the Legos are hopping around, I'm like, use your build button to like build this. And he'll like use his little finger and like walk over there. He's like 3 years old, man. He's like rocking Lego Star Wars and like. Anyway, it's pretty fun. Like we played hours of it, but yeah, dude, I've been playing Halo since 2001 when it came out.
Yeah.
So-
Shout out to the chat as well, because we've got Revelo and Jeremy, who are two of our Halo squad
Yep.
members.
Nice.
Just be aware that if you join our Halo group, you will get text messages at all hours of the morning.
Yes.
Random
About
things.
stuff.
You'll get lots of Bernie
Like,
memes,
me and-
apparently.
yeah, lots of Bernie memes. Yep.
The more
My-
people
Apparently,
join, the
this Halo
more.
chat is
Yeah.
not about Halo anymore.
No, my brother-in-law, I'm in a Discord channel with him, and we got like 10 people. They play a lot of Call of Duty Warzone and stuff like that, and I just get all the time. It's memes and like, I mean, so yeah, totally get it. It's,
Nice.
yeah.
So the name, your
Yeah.
name came from that. Then.
Yeah. It was Counter-Strike. You guys
Uh-huh.
remember Counter-Strike? Anyone? Okay.
Mhm.
It was like the Leet language. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's where the
1337?
Zor came. Yeah,
okay.
exactly. That's where the Zor came from. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
So I was like,
Alright.
oh, let's put Zor, like, and then
Yeah.
so it's just kind
Like
of stuck.
Trogdor.
Little did you know.
Yeah.
Trogdor!
Burninated. Yeah.
So let's talk. So let's talk about your background a little bit. First of all, so you have the name, But even before you had the name, I'm sure you were into the industry, or at least into something related. Did you come from a background that's like cinematography related, design related?
No.
No, neither of those things.
No. I did go to school for, like, I think it was 3D design, essentially.
Okay.
Just kind of your basic stuff, and we learned in Maya. So I learned how to do like a lot of the 3D stuff in Maya. This is back whenever, to render. Oh man, I got this really crappy animation of like this like ant trying to get this coffee out of this coffee mug. This is back in 2008, 7 or 8. And I rendered it on Maya, and it's so stupid. And it took like, I think it's like maybe like a 6-second animation. It's the dumbest camera move. It doesn't even make any sense. And it took like 2 days to render the stupid thing.
Nice.
And I was like, man, I don't know. This is kind of like a rough industry to be in, I feel. And so anyway, so I went to school for that. When I got out of school, I actually went into working for kind of like an ad agency. It was me and 2 other guys, and we just essentially made kind of, I don't even know how to explain it, kind of like promo videos for like Sam's Club, Walmart, stuff like that. The company I was with, we designed the Sam's Club mobile app for them at the time. And so the 3 of us made kind of this 3D Sam's Club that popped up out of the ground, and like the products of the day would like be sitting on the roof, and there'd be cars in the parking lot and stuff like that. And so we were like challenged and tasked with making all these kind of like 3D After Effects promo videos and stuff like that. So I did that for a little while. And then I went to work at a little local kind of VFX house. It was, by little, it was just me and one other guy. Nice. And we worked on a movie with, it had Christopher Lloyd and Ernie Hudson in it. And it was back in like 2011. And it was called Mickey Matson. And I can't even remember the second part of it. It was on Netflix. And we had like 100 like VFX shots. And that's kind of like when I first kind of like got really like thrown into the like VFX realm, and it was tough. Like this dude,
100 shots is a lot. That's the kind of thing I would split with one other person, but it would take like 3 months to do that kind of.
It was me, one other. But this dude was like, he's been doing it for a long time, and he's really, really good. He uses Lightwave. So I kind of had to like stumble through learning how to do Lightwave for like a couple months. So I did that, and then from there I went to work at essentially for a company that works for Walmart. So the Walmart home office is just down the road from me. And basically on that team, I was just in charge, no 3D stuff at all. It was like photography, product photography, videos. Like we were in charge of like putting a lot of the, like their social media stuff, like on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So we'd have to come up with the Instagram pictures or the Facebook videos. Like my daughter was an actress, and like little videos.
Hopefully she got paid.
She did not. Yeah, that's yeah. Working for them was it was a good learning experience. But so it was good, and it was kind of nice because no one else really at the home office or in the company I was working for did kind of like what I did, and so I kind of was able to like not really set my own hours, but I'd like, okay, I'm going off on a shoot, and they'd be like, all right, see ya, and I'd go do my own thing. I'd come up with the ideas. I'd go do the shoots. I'd go do any like After Effects motion work or stuff like that by myself, essentially, and for Walmart. And so I did that for about 4 years. And then while I was doing that, I found this dude named Beeple, his stuff.
I heard of him.
Yeah.
Who the hell's that guy?
And I remember I was like, one day I was just like, man, I kind of want to get back into like doing some like 3D work, because I had kind of had some downtime. It was like right after the new year or something, so it was kind of dead. And I think I typed in like C4D hashtag in like Instagram or something, and I found his work. And I was like, oh crap, like this is pretty sweet looking. Like this looks pretty cool. And I started seeing like, I was like, whoa, this dude does it like every single day. Like, what's that all about? And then I found that because you have to keep in mind, I came from where you rendered one picture and it took like a day or two to render something.
Right.
So like this dude's knocking this crap out every day.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the heck is Octane render? And so I was like, oh my gosh, I can like see what everything looks like in real time, like the lighting.
World.
Yeah, I was like, this is crazy. And so from there, I just kind of was like, man, okay, this is a cool challenge. Like maybe this will just help me get better, getting back into things and stuff like that. And so that was like 5 years ago almost. So I just stuck with it.
Yeah.
And our team got laid off from Walmart. I just so happened to be starting my Instagram crap at the time, and it just kind of, I think my first big client was Elenium. And he reached out to me on Instagram. I was like, hey man, do you want to make my album artwork? I really like your stuff. And I was like, sure. And it just kind of went from there, and just kind of been stuff ever since.
So how much of your work is like album art, or like do you do concert visuals, or just a bunch of random like mographs? Like what's the, spread?
So my bigger projects are, boy, I don't even know. It's kind of like advertising type stuff. Like I helped last year with was it the Stadia? Google, is it Google Stadia? Is that who did it, or Microsoft? I can't remember.
I think it's Google.
Is it Google?
Yeah.
Okay. So I worked with those guys creating like this is like all the different kinds of things I try and work on. It was creating a set design for them for their keynote. So I did like their like a 3D mock-up, kind of like their set design, and then I worked on the Childish Gambino's like installation that he had, I think, at Coachella.
Cool.
So I did like the promo video for that, and like did some like artwork for him to post out for that. So that's kind of like the concert stuff. I didn't really do any concert visuals, I don't think. Well, no, I did some for Stained actually.
Nice.
Nice.
Stained,
when was that?
Which is funny. This would have been at the very beginning of this last year. I think.
I did stuff for them back in 2001. So it was a way different world back then.
No, that's an interesting story because we played a show with Stained in about 2002 or 3. The band I was in at the time.
Nice.
So we opened for them, and so it was funny coming like this full circle. Like we played with them, and then I was coming back and making their concert visuals now. Like
that's awesome.
Or whatever. So that was kind of cool. I did some projection stuff for the NHL, for the Nashville or Memphis. I can't remember. Ice projection thing for them.
Was that with Quince?
Andy.
Andy Needham.
You're like, I know an Andy.
Yeah. Well, he works with Quince, right? Yeah. I like Jeff's comment. It's been a while.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I had it in my head, but I wasn't 100% sure whether that was Stained or not.
Well, the other. And so then I do some book art. I did some book cover art for Podium Publishing with Nathan Fillion.
Nice.
Did some stuff for Xbox here this last part of the year. And then I did this really weird project that actually was really nice. It's like, I don't even know how much I can talk about it. It's nothing anyone's ever going to see. But it was like this angel investor from down in Florida, and he's like got this big, I'll just call it like a science experiment, or like, like essentially I made this like his, I don't want to say it's like a PowerPoint, or it's like not like a glorified like PowerPoint deck, but these illustrations essentially kind of like showing his vision for like what he has in mind when he presents to other investors. And it was through this agency in Miami, who was really they're called Maven, who was a really cool just like couple, like 2 or 3 guys I worked with, and that actually lasted for like 3 months, and it paid really well. And I did that since I think I started that in like June, and it went all the way to like October. So just kind of all these weird things. Like there's not any like one thing. It's just kind of like if I see something come in, I kind of do the background, check on them. Be like, is this like a legit person? Is this a legit offer? Can you afford this type of thing? Like, and then from there, I kind of like, okay, this seems like this is gonna be a pretty good deal, and then just kind of goes from there. So yeah, it's just kind of a little bit of everything, really, I guess.
We have a lot
Phil
of questions coming in, so I want to
Phil
make
asked in the chat, do you get all your work through Instagram? I'm curious about that too,
Oh,
because I feel you're very prolific on Instagram.
And also, here's another one: is most of your work stills, or do you do a lot of animation too?
Because you got like 157,000 followers on Instagram, which is ridiculous.
That must be an act. I don't know how that happened, to be honest. It still doesn't make any sense to me, but I mostly do stills. I would love to do animation. I always get like, I psych myself out. I'm like, crap, I don't have the equipment. I don't have the time. Rendering it, when I hit the render button, it like stresses me out just to do a still image. And I know when I render animation, I'm like,
It's
oh
a
my
lot
gosh,
worse.
like I just start sweating. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you know, like
I
you
know,
do
yeah.
crap all the time, man. Like that stuff. I know when you render like EXR image sequences, you can like, if you have a frame that's screwed up, you can go back and render that. Hopefully that one frame, maybe if you're lucky.
Yeah.
But
patch things sometimes, but a lot.
Yeah.
It's so often where I'm like, well, I screwed up. Time to render overnight again, you know, or whatever.
yeah.
Like, oh, I've been rendering this for 4 days, and I just noticed something totally wrong. Yep. It's
no,
gonna
see
be for 4
that
days.
to me, that to me is just like that just gives me wants to make me like have a panic attack. Like,
Yeah.
I'm lucky. I'm
Yeah.
super lucky that I've been able to do mainly stills. I
That's
would love to get into animation more. And David, I've talked to you about this, dude. You know, I was like, dude, I need to get better at my animating and stuff like that. And
Best way to do that's LCR, bro.
There you go.
there you go.
You just render every night. ABC, always be rendering.
Always be
Yep.
rendering.
But and then so where I get my work, yeah. So it's interesting. I get mainly album art, music related stuff through Instagram. I get my bigger clients that I get Intel, Google, Microsoft, Xbox, stuff like that through Behance, actually.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
So it seems like the bigger clients come through Behance, and it's probably because they have, you know, creative teams that go out and do mood boarding and stuff like that, and so they're just like, you know, typing the hashtags and whatever
Right.
pops up.
Note to self: make sure you post more on Behance.
Dude, I know,
Yeah, right.
yeah, I know.
I've neglected Behance since like 2014
Yeah.
or something.
All the biggest clients I've had have come through Behance, and so Behance, and then I'm trying to think what else.
ABC always be Hansen.
Oh,
Always Behance.
you should sell that to
Oh my
Adobe.
god.
Sell that to Adobe trademark.
Yeah.
So those are my two main kind of places where I get work through.
That's cool.
Sweet.
Waveform
cool.
asks why not render as image sequence. I think you are saying you image.
That's what he was
do
saying.
image
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
sequences.
definitely.
It's just,
Yeah, sure.
I do
Okay, gotcha.
PNG sequences, but you know.
But
PXR.
David, you're saying you re-render because you'll kind of do a pass every night. I think we talked about this on the
re-render because it's
podcast.
stuff you can't fix in compositing. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, there's a tree here blocking the composition that I didn't notice, or whatever, you know.
Well, but for
You know how
EJ's
it
class, we did a podcast together for his class,
Oh, yeah.
and we were talking
Yep,
about the whole, like, you know, you just kind of send something to render at night, even if it's not done, just to kind of
And
be
you
able to
hope
see
that
it.
in the morning that it's like good to go, and sometimes it is. And that is why I like to render as I go. Like if it's a short film, I don't want to do the whole previs first, then wait till the very last week and have to render everything. Like I've got 3 machines, so I can keep, you know, renders churning as I go, which to me is actually a more efficient workflow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that Carlo in the chat said everyone starts resetting their Behance
Yeah.
passwords. That's
Yeah.
so
Remember.
funny.
I'm telling you, man. I don't know why. That's what I found. It may be different for everyone else. I'm not sure. David, I want to ask you, why do you do PNG instead of like EXR? I mean, you probably talk about.
Because I am lazy and I don't want to do composite.
Same.
And
Gotcha.
it's
Same.
He does everything in camera.
File size
Does
dope.
not
Yeah.
he does not composite at all.
Not that I don't know how to composite.
No,
it's
I've
just,
seen.
you know.
Dude,
Don't blame you.
Before I started doing my stuff, I watched you do the one man talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that and I was like, crap, this dude is crazy. Like the dude jumping off the ship and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Like I was watching all that and I was like, that's freaking sweet. So I know you can do it. I know the skills are there.
Yeah, I do. I start to get insecure sometimes because there's like this one guy in LCR that's like extremely good at compositing. His name is Shane, and he's just like god level. He like knows Nuke. I know Nuke. You know, and so, but I'm just like, I swear, guys, I can do compositing. I just
Yeah.
I could do it. I could do it.
I just don't. I don't like it as much as you do. There's Shane. He's right there in the chat. Hey, Shane.
Oh, that's funny.
See, I will try and get it as close as possible.
Yeah.
And then if I know that I just need like a little color correction or something, I'll just render out object buffers and like I'm good to
Fix a
go.
little something.
You know, Cryptomat changed my life.
That's,
you know,
it is pretty sweet.
Is it so slow though? Isn't it?
No,
slow
it's
with
free.
animation?
It's free.
I know it's free. I'm saying is
No.
it slow to composite with in After Effects?
No, because
I've
you're just
heard that it's like very slow.
Nah, crypto mat. You just select your mat, and it's just a Luma mat.
Okay.
It's great.
Okay.
See, I do all my I probably do 80% of like smoke, fog,
Yeah.
composited.
Yeah.
Just 'cause I hate waiting for smoke and fog to render.
Usually when I do fog like that, it goes like this. I'm going to set this up with TFD, and I set it up for like an hour and a half, and then I start having weirdness with it, and then I have render problems, and then things crash and take forever, and then I give up, and I export nulls, and I composite it.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
But there's other questions in here I wanted to try and catch up a little bit. Hopefully I get to everybody here.
I've also got a whole slew of questions as
Cool.
well.
Yep.
FYI.
Good thing I put it on 4 hours.
We're going to be here forever.
Right.
I'm going to live forever.
Somebody said they came here expecting to see you as a T-1000 laser-eyed menacing humanoid based on your stuff.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, based
then-
on your
I'm
picture.
sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
I'm sorry, I'm a normal human. I'm not a robot.
Right.
Yeah, not yet.
There was
Yeah,
one.
not-
I'm
Maybe
trying
in the
to-
future we can get some robot bodies. It'll be sweet.
There you
Transfer our consciousnesses to,
That's all I want. That's all
spider
I want.
bot. Do you want to be a spider bot or a crab bot or a bunny? That's the question.
A humanoid bot? I'd rather be.
100
I would like to look like
robot.
myself and sound like myself.
Right.
Just be made of all
Just be
robot parts.
native. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Accept that answer.
One of the questions is about your inspiration. Where do you look? So okay, before I ask you that question though, I have a question from me to you, which is when you started looking at Beeple stuff, was it in the period of landscapes with like neon stuff and
Yeah.
the Jansport
I'm
backpack
sure it was
era,
Beach
or was
Lump
it Buzz
and-
Lightyear nipples era?
Yeah.
It was not. Yes, that's a good question. And actually, I was going to say, it was like 2016 stuff.
Yeah,
Landscapes,
Yeah,
sci-fi,
Jansport
Classic
backpacks.
people.
Yeah.
Jansport backpack.
It was
Not
after
the Buzz
abstract
Lightyears.
people.
Yes, not the Kim Jong Trump.
Pre-nipple.
Yes, yeah.
I feel like there have been
Pre-nip.
3 phases of Beeple. There was first the abstract, like where he's modeling and doing like really quick box modeling Beeple, and then he went into the more concrete like landscapes, like you're saying, and that's that stuff to me was more inspiring because it's all massive scale, feels like sci-fi concept art. Yeah,
And then the nipple.
and then the nipple phase. Yeah, I forgot
yeah.
that one.
I feel like he's flip
I wonder
flopping
if
back
he's going
and
to
forth
enter
right
phase
now.
4.
Yeah. Phase
Or
4.
mixing and matching. Like if you saw this latest one,
I really loved the CryptoPunk one that he
That was
did
cool.
yesterday. Yeah.
Which one is that one?
Just the latest one he posted
All
last night.
So where
That
does
wasn't
not-
the Buzz Lightyear one, was it?
No. That
Okay.
one's his B20 coin madness.
So where do you
Which-
get your inspiration besides Buzz Lightyear nipples or pre nipples?
Yes. Man, I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff online. A lot of the people I follow, music. I would say actually a lot of stuff is for music because a lot of things I have now are just like assets that I just have. Like every once in a while I'll go into like World Creator or something like that and try to knock out like a new landscape or something like that. But to be 100% honest, it's like the inspiration comes with what I'm listening to for the day, the mood I'm in, really. It's not like, or it could be, I mean, sometimes it's even like photography type stuff, like cool, like moody forests or something like that. It's really not as much like 3D inspired stuff, but more of like mindset, I guess. That sounds stupid, but
No, that makes
I like
sense.
that.
Good.
I like that
prevents it from being an
description,
echo
yeah.
chamber as much. If you're pulling reference from all over the place or just
Yeah.
coming up with something out of your own creative brain. This was a question from Matt Brown in the LCR group, which is similar. Like, do you ever have days where you can't think of anything? And how do you work through that?
definitely, yeah. That like honestly, probably all of December and a lot of this month, to be honest, was kind of like, man, bleh, like
Yeah.
like I just don't have any, and it just comes in waves, to be honest. Like it comes in waves. Like there's times where you're just like, And the problem is there's not like a good answer to like how do you get through it. I mean, honestly, it can be music.
Yeah.
Again, it can be seeing. I mean, it could be just like sometimes when I sit in my living room, like the light comes in the room just like this cool angle.
Oh yeah.
And it can be like that's cool. Like if I mimic that.
Yeah.
You know, like or like you're outside and like the sky looks a certain way. Or
what's outside?
Yeah, exactly.
There's an outside?
There's an outside?
What is this out you speak of? I mean, so it's just, and sometimes, man, you just got to sit down and you just got to like, I mean, you don't have to. I'm an idiot, so I have to do this because I've gotten myself into this pickle where I have to make something every day right now. And it's like, it's weird because like some days that you think you're going to make garbage, you put something out there and people are like, this is the best thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Like, that crap?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, this took 15 minutes and it's not, and I don't, obviously I'm not like, that's stupid, it's only took 15 minutes and this is look like crap. But it's like, it just goes to show you, like, someone might think, you're garbage that looks amazing. And other times you make something you think looks really awesome. And you're like, man, I had a great spark. And people are like, that's cool. Yeah. It looks like everything else you do. And it's like,
yeah.
So you just don't know, man. The way I would say,
got different tastes.
Yeah, it's just like do something. And I found this like in music too. When we make in the band I was in, if you do something and you really don't care about what people think, and you just are like, this makes me happy. Like I don't, if you want to make a sphere. And it's a cool looking sphere and you light it right and everything. You're like, you know what? I'm happy with this. This actually makes me pretty happy. It's like, who gives a crap what other people think? Yeah. If it brings joy to you, then who cares? Like,
sometimes the simplest compositions are also the most effective. Like, sure. You don't need to throw all the bells and whistles into an image for it to be great. Like it could just be a sphere and the composition is really pleasing and simple and the silhouettes are clean and, and it just took you 15 minutes and it's like happens to be a really beautiful piece of art too. Also, you've been doing dailies for 5 years, so you're honing that ability to do that kind of thing really quickly. So like, here's a question. What's your process for finding compositions? Do you just like jump into Cinema and start laying out cool geometry, or do you often like sketch first or look for references?
Right. I never sketch ever.
Me neither. Good.
I can't draw. Like when people are like, "Is that your bio?" Like you can't. I'm literally like I cannot draw. Like if you ask me to draw anything, it would be like my fourth grader can draw better than I can.
Right.
So I don't ever sketch anything, and I hate to say this, but as far as composition goes, I don't take into consideration composition.
The guides.
At all. No,
I've never used whatever guides. You like.
Well, but you've got a natural eye for it, whether or not you know it.
Yeah, I don't know it because it's I've never used like the rule of thirds. I've never used the golden ratio. I've never used. It's so stupid when I say this out loud, but it's just like I just make what I think looks cool. Like
it's whatever brings you joy.
Camera, or there you go. Like the camera tilt, or like the way something's set up, or the way a light, from the back, like highlights a person off in this. I don't know. Just
call it the Marie Kondo method. Just whatever brings you joy.
See, I never even watched that. I don't know what you're talking about.
See, I don't watch it either, but I know enough about it to know.
Okay.
You know those internal rules, though, like whether or not you know it. Because remember in our LCR group with Devansh's render that you commented on, where he had like tilted monolithic structures and he was giving the camera a Dutch tilt as well. And you replied that, if you've got leaning structures, you don't usually tilt the camera too, because that's like double tilting and throwing off the composition. So you know this stuff, you just aren't consciously aware of the fact you know it. Right.
I guess. Yeah. It's I know I'm sorry for people because I know it's always frustrating when someone's going, well, you just do it, make it look like that's just honestly, I'm being 100% honest. I'm
just that talented, man.
No. Yeah. I don't know about that.
Well, here's another similar one though. Like this is from Ben James in the LCR group as well. Like what imaginary rules do you create? Any imaginary rules for yourself to guide your creative process? Maybe that's like a more vague like way to say, rather than like composition guides. Like so that was kind of an imaginary rule. Like if you've got tilting structures, you don't tilt the camera. Like is there anything more in that vein? You know, and like you communicate scale really well too in your renders. Like, you know, when did you first like iron that process out and start gravitating towards those massive monolithic structures with your patented, you know, Stuzor scale dudes?
Man, I don't know. I mean, it goes way back. To be honest, like when someone asks me, I can't remember who asked, but they're like, "Are you making your people really small, or are you making your scenes really big?"
Really big.
And I'm like, dude, I make my people really small, and mainly because like if you have any fog in your scene or something like that, obviously like the fog box is smaller. You know, the less like craziness on your machine.
Right. Well, scale is all relative in 3D to a large degree. Like you can have just like a couple little planes, and then if you put in a little scale dude and add some greeble texture or whatever and some fog, it'll look massive. And like also the lighting contributes to that with like if you've got little pools of light, you know, that can sell the scale better. So yeah, to me, I don't really care that much about scale in terms of scene scale, but in terms of like selling the scale, you know, you're really good at that.
Yeah, like this one right here. It's like, did you scale those two people down, or did you scale these two people up?
It's
a little bit of both.
So here's what's funny: those two people on that one you just pointed at are actually just PNGs. They're just cutouts.
Oh, nice! That's
awesome. Yeah. So a lot of times when I don't need like a lot of detail on the person, why use all that geometry when you can just fake it with a PNG cutout?
Totally.
And
Before
so
this one,
do you slap that on afterwards, or do you bring it into Octane
I
as
bring
an
it
alpha?
Octane.
Yeah,
cool. Just that way, like
get the reflections.
You get a silhouette that way.
Yeah.
You get a nice silhouette that way, but like, you don't really get light on a character that way, though.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
If you kind of can if you can find the right image, because then you can go into Photoshop and you can make a normal map. So you can kind of fake it a little bit with a normal map on top of that.
To me, that feels like so much more effort, though, than actually putting in a 3D character. But I get it. Like, if it's like a tiny-ass scale dude, maybe it's easier to, like, clone those out or something and rather not have to mess with posing. Like, it's already an image that looks pretty good with the pose and whatnot.
Are you messing around with Marvelous Designer as well?
Yeah. Yep. Marvelous Designer, Daz. I really, and it kind of bums me out. I used to use what was the name that Adobe program? Is it not Fusion?
Fuse.
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 I was like, Flash?
Yeah.
Flash. Yeah.
So Adobe Fuse was a character creation program.
Wait, did they kill it?
They killed it. And so
I'm so glad I didn't use it in my course. Holy crap.
Yeah, and the thing is it actually had characters. The Daz characters, like you can recognize when you see a Daz face, right? Like it's pretty standard. But the Fuse characters had kind of unique faces, and so like that giant head that you just saw, the cracked head, that's an Adobe Fuse head, and so it doesn't have like it has more of like humanistic like nose, like there's a little bit of deformation and stuff like that in the face, as opposed to like the Daz characters, where they're like really like almost mannequin looking. Now you can go into like ZBrush and you can modify them and stuff like that, but you know, I want to say I haven't really like learned ZBrush all that well. And so, but yeah, so Daz, Marvelous Designer, I use those quite often. I use World Creator a lot also.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is a fantastic program, super fun to use.
I am going back here trying to go back through the
So you're on 5 years of dailies?
Just about. Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thanks.
Do you do more than one a day sometimes?
I mean, sometimes I'll have an idea just to get it started so I don't forget. Like if something pops into my head, I'm like, okay, like I want a cube here, or this there, or a guy here, or a like a sky or a certain like mood, and I'll just like throw that in like 10 minutes, and be like, okay, can't forget this. So stuff like that'll happen. I try not to do anything more than like one a day though, because that just is like that's too much
work.
I feel like dailies for me happen by accident. Every time they happen by accident. It's
Hashtag
like
accidental daily.
Yeah, I'll accidentally do something. I'm
daily.
like, oh, that's kind of cool looking by accident. Well, maybe I'll render that out real quick. The other day, I opened something from your course, David. I think it was like a cactus or something. I was just looking through some files.
I got no cactuses in my course.
Or it was some sort of plant that looked like a cactus. Whatever it was, I ended up using it in a completely different way, where it looked almost like a chia. Spout, what would you call it? Like a little bud. And I threw some fog in there and turn it into something, just messing around. But it's really funny because you'll do something like you said, you didn't spend a lot of time on it. You didn't necessarily think it was that good, but then like you post it and people are like, fire, and you're like,
yeah,
is it?
Is it though?
Exactly.
Is it fire?
That's really good for imposter syndrome though. So
yeah, to ease the imposter syndrome.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
some of the other questions in here, I'm looking at Raid Zero. Phil, he called the Beeple phase the political breast pump phase. That sums it up.
That's a good chapter.
It's a good name.
We're still in that phase, but maybe it'll die off now.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Shane asks, do you guys feel like daily renders become an art trap as opposed to making some long form videos that are super polished? Does it ever feel like a
I
trap?
feel like if you're trying to do a long form video that's super polished, you're going to be, unless that's focusing on what you're doing, you're putting away time. I feel like you'll never finish it. I don't know. That's just me.
It depends on what you want to get from it, I guess. Like, I'm not trying to like make something where I'm like, all right, this is going to be the next movie trailer or something like that. It's more of like a mental exercise, I guess, because let's say you get some client work, right? And they or it's a fast turnaround. Well, because you've been doing this stuff for so long like this, you can be like, okay, here's some ideas right off the top of the block, pop, and you can get it knocked out fast. So even if I'm not even if you're not making like these crazy like detailed like
Domrich,
Ian Hubert,
Ian Hubert, that dude's freaking
insane, man. That dude's crazy. But it's a mental thing too. Like it's an exercise in creativity. So not only you're making something, you're putting it out there. I don't think it's a trap. I think it more than anything, it's an exercise of sorts.
I feel like both ends of the spectrum can be really important. Like you can take your time and really perfect a single image for months and make the most amazing mind-bending render ever, or you can get good at really quickly dashing out compositions. Both of those can be really important skill sets. I feel like we should encourage people to try to exist at both ends of the spectrum more often. Like do your dailies for a while and then switch to doing like a full short film, or switch to, doing a single piece where you really perfect everything, because you get different skills out of each process.
That's good point.
The thing with the dailies for me, that it brings back like a flood of emotions from when I was in second grade and I was supposed to read one book every night. And you didn't have to do it every night, but if you did, you would get the star on the chart, and every time you get 5 stars, you get a prize, which means I would get one a week, and then I was in competition because there was only one other kid in the class doing every night, and we were in direct competition, so then it wore out reading for me to this day, I still don't like to read. And I'm it brings all that back on me, and I'm like, if I were making myself do dailies, I think I would feel like that.
Yeah.
Like this awful.
It's not for
feeling.
everyone, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's stress relieving for me, to be honest, also. So
there was another thing Phil said. Oh, he said drugs work too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't take word on that,
man. Here's one from
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try to pronounce Martin's name the proper Dutch way. Martin.
That's what I was wondering.
What's up, dude?
Yeah.
So what would your job have been if CG didn't work out?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a good question for everybody.
It is. Yeah. It really is. I mean, honestly, man, I'd probably be like a project manager for like Walmart home office for some stuff, or a vendor. It is. Yeah, I know. But
I don't know what the hell I would do. I'm having like a crisis. Like, what would I do?
Would you be a neurosurgeon?
No, I hated that. I was very bad at science. That's why I quit and why I was a fraud. Like, that was not going to be a career for me. I would have failed at that career. Absolutely. Couldn't stand it. I could be a swing dance instructor.
There you go.
Kept going down that route, but now that doesn't exist anymore. Nobody's dancing anymore, which is really sad.
Together anyway. Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I guess I think for me, it's always going to be computer stuff. Like it would be like, making video games or maybe doing Ableton, making music. Like those are careers that I could see doing, or even programming, though that seems overly technical and not so interesting to me.
Are we talking about like our dream job other than this, or are we just talking about?
No, I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay, because like this is my realistic. I have a family backup plan.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
that's
I mean,
probably
honestly,
what he meant. That probably is what he meant. Like, and I don't like what I'm saying is those are my backup plans because I suck at things in the real world that are not to do with computers. Like I tried, like
people, you're a good teacher and stuff like that.
Oh, thank you. But that's still in this digital world, I guess.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I worked at the home office, and you've got the skills to be fine in anything that would have to do like that. Trust me.
Thanks.
So I feel like my management skills would be okay in any area,
Just
but
got
like
food delivered to me.
it goes.
by my wife.
Nice.
It goes two ways for me, right? Like if I were to like not have a job today, I think I would become a private investigator. I think I could make that happen pretty quick and be fun.
See that. With all your security cameras and
cameras and
stuff that you do.
Yeah, techie investigation. But if I had a choice, I would go into I would maybe decide to become a lawyer. But I know that's not realistic for me at my age right now to spend that much time to become a lawyer by the time I retire anyway. But so yeah,
we're gonna retire.
There's like the dream job, and then there's like the what would you be doing right now?
The realistic sad job.
Yeah.
Bill Roberts said he'd be a stuntman, and I can totally see that. That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah, or a professional air hockey player.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phil is just good at everything.
Yeah,
he is.
Bowling instructor.
Bowling backwards behind his legs without looking.
Yeah, all the things.
Waveform asks, what's something that you've learned in Cinema 4D that has sped up your workflow, or made your renders look really clean?
The S key, I guess, is probably
right.
The S key is probably,
or I guess that's also find selected object or whatever.
Yeah. But you can also use it in the on the side in the project.
Yep.
The asset manager, which I was like, oh crap.
Scroll the first active, bro. That's what I just said.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Scroll the first active or select what's on the screen. And like that, dude, that is the biggest thing that I tell people who are just getting into cinema. Like you will use the S key all the time.
Control Shift Z to readjust your camera.
Yep.
Also, the camera thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big. Lots of people don't know about that one.
I always just keyframe the camera. But
here's one that students have been running into a lot that I didn't even know about. You can lock accidentally your camera to a specific object, and that happens with the insert key. So if you ever see a green crosshair in your scene and your camera's not functioning, then hit the insert key.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
See, with the S key, for me, whenever I see somebody and they're in cinema and they're like scrolling forward to like zoom in and then they're moving over to get to an object, I'm like, oh my God, just hit the object and hit S for the love of God. Because it takes...
A weird thing happened to me 2 days ago. I was working, and every single time I hit the S key, my cinema crashed instantaneously.
What?
Oh, no.
Every single time. And I even sent a report, or I posted on Maxon's Facebook. I was like, dude, every time I push the S key, it crashes my computer, or not my computer, my cinema. And it doesn't give me a bug thing or a crash report or anything like that. And
Weird.
I thought, and then I restarted my computer, and it never happened again.
Weird.
Don't have any idea why. Same scene, same everything. It was just like, that was super frustrating because I couldn't figure out for a minute. I was like, what the crap? Why does it keep crashing? So
I don't know if we talked about this, but when you said you started out in Maya and then you moved over to Lightwave.
Yep.
At what point did you flip over to Cinema?
Right. So it was like, it's funny. I remember the exact scenario that happened. My friend at the agency that I worked at, where there was just three of us, we were using Maya, and he's like, dude, you should use Cinema, man. The rendering's really fast. And he's like, you should there's this dude named Nick Campbell. You should watch his stuff. Like it'll show you how to render, and he has this cool stuff to make it look real nice. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't want to learn a new thing. And then over the course of a couple months, I was like, that is pretty sweet how it renders pretty fast. I don't know, like maybe I'll kind of like look more into it. And then I realized that the interface was significantly easier to read than the Maya.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really used to Maya. I'd been using it at that point for like 3 years, and so like the space bar, like to switch between the screens, and like all the shortcuts and stuff. But it was about 2012, but I didn't really get into it heavily probably until about 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, when I started just making little crappy little renders for Walmart at the time. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm going back through more questions here. Phil also asked, do you document? I think he's talking about, I'm behind, but I think he's talking about your dailies. Do you document all of them, or how do you save them? Do you save them by date? Do you save them by title? Okay.
Date.
Cool.
I don't have titles. Yeah. And when someone's like, hey, like if they want to purchase one, they're like, hey, can you give me uplifting? I'm like, what the crap is that? Like I have to like get on Google and like Stu's are uplifting and find out which one they're talking about, because I don't know what they're talking, you know.
Sometimes you're not going to remember all those names.
Yeah. I get something from 2 years ago, and I'm like, I don't know. And so, yeah, it's just by date.
Especially if you're naming them randomly, you know.
Yeah.
So do you sell prints as well?
I did. I haven't been. I had a Society 6, and I was doing that for a little while. I just kind of got lazy and kind of gave up on that. I mean, I get asked for prints pretty often. I need to figure out a better way to charge and do all that stuff. But, yeah.
Because with Rev and the and like the naming of things, like we'll be playing Halo and he'll be on the party chat working on his daily, but not playing Halo, just talking to us.
Yeah, AFK, so we can just kill him over and over.
Yeah, but then he'll be like, what should I name this? I'm like, I haven't even seen it. He's like, it doesn't matter, just give us something. Like he did this render of this like
doesn't matter
this little thing the other day, and he was like, what's the name? I'm like, I don't know, Pizza Party or something like that, and it had nothing to do with it, but it's called Pizza Party. Yeah.
But then people will think it's like way deeper than it is.
Yeah,
it's like,
right.
That's
Pizza Party. What does it mean?
Yeah,
dude, that's one of the questions. Something like, you know, what do these people mean?
What does it all mean? What's the story?
What's this? Do these rings mean anything? Do the people that are cloaked, do they mean anything? And I'm like, no.
No.
Sorry. No. The thing is, it's like, dude, you make it mean what you want it to mean, I guess. You know, I don't know.
It's cool if people are ascribing their own meaning to it. Like that kind of adds more value to the art to some degree. I mean, it can also be cool to have your own internal storyline and whatnot and backstory. But either
sometimes
way,
they do. Sometimes they do. And a lot of times the ones that do have meaning, no one even cares anything about like what it means. Like, Byron Stanford, one of my buddies who's also an LCR, asked, it would be cool to hear what your influences are. I mean, we already talked about inspiration, but he also asked, do your renders all exist in the same universe, or is there some, hidden story there? Yeah. I mean,
like the people.
I kind of have like this like.
The Stuzerverse.
Stuzerverse.
I have like these like specific, like yesterday's where it has like the giant like almost kind of pyramid structures with the light coming through. Like I feel like that, and the small trees, I feel like that's like its own thing, and then like the giant cloaked people are maybe like their own thing. Yeah, I don't know. It would be cool. Like, yeah, I think about sometimes it'd be cool if like there was part of this entire universe, and like, this is on this one planet, and this is on like this moon of this planet, and this is on like just something really cool.
You should like turn that into a crypto drop, like where it's like this is the moon, this is the this style of renders, and this is the nature planet or whatever, Yeah.
I mean, they definitely have like if you go through, you can kind of see like there's specific like themes to like maybe 4 or 5 themes that kind of everything kind of sticks inside of. So yeah, I mean it's not intentional, but I do kind of think about that whenever I'm making stuff. I guess a little bit.
Totally.
Cool.
Here's one from Malouche. In LCR. So do you give yourself like a very constrained time frame to produce these, like no more than 2 hours kind of thing? Or is it just like a relaxing tool to cut off from client work and you don't really, think about that much?
It's kind of both. I generally, what I'll do is I'll start something. It's first of all, it's kind of as a stress relief type thing. Mm-hmm. I'll usually start it about 11 o'clock at night, maybe. Go for about an hour. And then I pick it up in the morning, usually about 8 or 9 o'clock, and then have it done by around 10, 11-ish.
Oh, wow, cool.
That's cool.
So that way you kind of like step back and like you might think of something that might be kind of cool to put in there. If you're like, this is crap, I gotta scratch everything and start over in the morning, or whatever. So that's kind of how the workflow goes. It's not like I sit down for 2 hours straight. It's like a 1 hour chunk here, and then the next day it's a 1 hour chunk here, and then it goes out.
Totally.
Cool.
That's awesome.
I've got so many backlog questions here that I'm going
Yeah,
through.
go for it. We'll just trade back and forth and rapid fire all day at Stu Store.
Phil was asking, do you have an automated release system when you do post some of these? If you have a backlog or something, if you do an automated release, or do you post it on Instagram?
Oh, no, it is no automated backlog. It's just day of type of thing. Yeah.
Waveform asks, any techniques for combating imposter syndrome?
No.
That's a good.
No. We all have it.
Not.
We're all screwed.
Yeah.
Stuck for life.
It's
part
just
of being an artist.
Dude, it's one of those things, man. I feel like, I think it's probably part of being an artist because, I mean, I definitely, absolutely, like, to even think that I would be on, like, a podcast like this, talking about this kind of stuff with you guys is just, like, this is ridiculous. That I shouldn't even be on here. Like,
Whatever.
Honestly, that's how I feel. That's how I feel before coming on here. I was like, dude, this isn't like, why would you guys even ask some potato like me to even be on here? I mean, it just happens to everyone, dude. Like,
yeah, because we feel the same way. We're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's actually gonna.
I know.
He accepted the invite, guys.
I don't
Oh my
that.
gosh.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Fell for it.
Yeah, joke's on you. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think there is one. I guess maybe just know that probably we all deal with that, so you're not
But just remember, it's a good thing. Keeping yourself humble is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
You won't get a big head if you have imposter syndrome, right?
For sure.
It's good.
If you
Just
think
take
you're the
comfort
best
in
all
that.
the time, you're not going to create good work.
That's right. That's what Nick Campbell said years ago back on Grayscale. Like, if you don't look back at your reel from a year ago and think that it sucked, then you haven't improved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Martin said, I look like a PI for sure. It's the hat and the glasses. And then Phil said, please do a spoof Dog the Bounty Hunter. He's not a PI. He's a bounty hunter. Anyway, let's see. Any other questions here? I'm so behind.
I've got some. So this is from Alex Marks, who's the guy in my course that he made that incredible Michael Jackson portrait, if you guys remember, with all the displaced little instruments in there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He also did a Beethoven one that you guys probably haven't seen. That's just as incredible with like piano hair that looks like almost like tentacles.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. Anyway, he said, I could probably ask a bunch of questions about each of his dailies, but if I were to ask/beg one thing, it'd be if he could do live streams more often.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Will do.
I can try.
Yeah.
So, it would be weird because, right, like I don't do it like all in one setting. Generally, it's kind of a broken up chunk.
Yeah,
I guess it's not big. I guess maybe it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Also,
you could just stream while you're doing it and then hop off and then back on. I mean, I would talk to Revlo in the chat actually because he's been doing the stream thing.
Yeah.
I've jumped on a few of his and watched them. Also, it's kind of tough. I have, like I was saying, I have a 9 to 7 and a 3-year-old running around pretty much all day.
That was another question in the chat just now. Like, how do you handle all the client work and the kids? And
it's not too bad. Actually, the most annoying thing is my dog, which I don't think he's in here right now. If he hears any jingle jangle in the kitchen anytime, like he's like at the door, want to go out, and then he was like, oh, it's nothing for me to eat. So then he comes back in, and then he hears something else. And he wants to go back out, and it'll be like in and out, like.
You need a dog door for your office door.
Exactly. It's anyway, but yeah, it's not too bad actually. The kids are pretty, like the older kids, like I never have any problems with them. Like they know when I'm working to just like leave me alone. But they also have school going on in the day. The 3-year-old doesn't. He came in this morning. He was like, "You play video games with me?" Like right out of the gate, and I was like, "Dude, I can't. Like I got a video call."
So hard to
He's like. And he goes, this is so funny. He was like, I didn't even know he knew how to say this. He goes, how about you play video games while you're on your call?
Oh, yeah, no problem.
And I was like, yeah, okay, well, that sounds like a great idea. He's like, you can do it with one hand. And I was like, you can't really talk all that well. So all this like information's coming out of him. I'm like, that's hilarious sounding. But yeah, it's not really too bad of a setup. I mean, we've been doing it since the COVID crap hit last January.
Yeah.
Been on tons of client calls, and it's never been an issue at all. So
you need that automated doggy door they've been advertising on CNN the last couple of weeks. That is the biggest first world thing I've ever seen. It's literally.
Are you sick of your dog wanting to go out all the time?
Yes. Yeah. It's automated. It's a door that you buy that has it built in, and you hit the button. It has a camera on it and a speaker. So if you're not home, you can Wi-Fi into your door and say, outside, want to go outside?
Dude.
And then open it
like
automatically.
Listen, I've had dogs my whole life. I love dogs, animals. But man, the people that have like I'm sorry. If any of you guys have this, first of all, I'm sorry. I'm not like making fun of you. But like, I've never gotten the point of like having like a camera up in your house to like talk to your dog while you're working, stuff like that.
I know.
I'm like, all right, dude, I'm going to work. I'll see you here in like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And but I know there's dogs that have stress and like all that stuff, anxiety and whatnot, but I've never had to deal with that. Anyway, sorry.
When you come home and your dog's like, why didn't you call me today?
Yeah. We didn't chat today. Are you cheating on me with like another dog?
Another dog.
Do I smell a cat on you?
Yeah.
I miss our sweet little chats.
Let's see. Oh yeah, the term yesterdays. I think that's a great term. Calling something yesterdays,
nice.
and then let's see.
So you're in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Did you? And I know because my brother lived there. You know, that's the big Walmart hub. That's where the headquarters are. Did you grow up in Bentonville, or did you grow up somewhere else?
So I grew up about 80 miles south of here in a town called Fort Smith.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we moved up here like in 2010. After I got out of school for like my like 8-year college degree, and so I got a job up here, and then we just kind of stayed up here because we like the area really a lot. It's really nice, really family friendly. So
is there any Mograph scene up there?
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. I was telling you earlier, like my buddy who runs it's a place called Mutiny Effects. They're the only place really that I know of here locally that does any kind of VFX work, and it's not for. I don't think they do anything for people locally.
Yeah.
But other than that, not really. I mean, I actually have a couple. One person I follow, he follows me on Instagram. He works for that production company. But other than that, I mean, there's like 3 of us. Like that's it.
Nice.
So yeah.
I was saying we need to have you down for DFWC 4D once we
because
you're so close.
I mean,
Yeah.
Lane Kelly. I think.
Kelly.
Yeah.
That's another one of the students. Yeah.
How do you feel about every day's taking a toll on you and present burnout situations? Do you feel like you have to pay attention to mental health now that you've committed to every days indefinitely?
Indefinitely. Definitely not indefinitely.
Never going to stop.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to remember, like, yes, people are expecting that and stuff like that, but you can always stop, right? Like, you can be like, you know what? This is too much. I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
I want to focus on something else. I want to focus on maybe more client work and this. You're not trapped. Like, nothing you do, you're trapped in, right? Like,
yeah.
If it's too much, then yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like if it was too much stress for me, if I felt like I wasn't enjoying it, I would be like, I'm done. I mean, I'd put out a statement saying, hey guys, thanks for blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna take a break for a while. Might come back, might not.
Yeah.
And I'd probably still post stuff every now and then, but I mean, yeah, it's like, if you're getting burnt out, then just quit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Here's one that I think was also reflected in the chat. So this is from Johan Leanderson. I always wonder how these daily artists know that they're done. I'm guessing like any artist, they can always find improvements, and it must be so easy to overwork a render. Do you give yourself a set time frame each day, or did you learn to cut it off when to you it's just good enough? Which he says, by the way, is always epic.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things where I feel like I get to like the good enough spot. Which is usually, and after you do it for a while, they kind of all sync up, like the good enough and then like the time kind of coincide with each other. So it's like you spend about an hour and a half on something. You're like, this looks pretty cool. This will work. Again, you're not going to be able to make anything like super detailed or anything like that. And that's not necessarily the point of doing dailies.
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
I was going over earlier, it's kind of more of a mental exercise really than anything else, I guess. Right. But yeah, that's kind of good enough.
And then in a similar vein, like this is also from Martin, do you start every single daily from scratch? I mean, you kind of touched on this already, but do you ever recycle already built environments? Or did you? No. Okay.
No, cool. Not environments. I do obviously recycle like people.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Just because sometimes I'm like, crap, I don't want to spend an hour posing this dude and making a clothing for him or
absolutely.
I did watch Ian Hubert's thing about doing just a really simple skeletal joint setup, you know, the feet, knees, hips, to like make someone so like they can like kind of, you know, you can pose them in a different position, stuff like that, which I'll do that sometimes.
Are you talking about Ian Hubert's Patreon? I still need to like get on that.
YouTube.
It's just YouTube. Like he's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's got like
because he's a Blender guy, right?
Right, he's Blender. Yeah. But some of the things like they carry over. You know, so like a really quick just rig, just to, like make someone look like they're looking up or looking down, like those caped figures where they look like they're looking down or looking up. Like I have a really crappy rig where it's just like a joint in the chest, here, shoulders, neck, and top of the head, and then that's it. Just because you know, just to give them something to like look around and stuff like that. But yeah, so I recycle assets. Again, it's not my challenge to myself isn't to necessarily build everything, but it's to create I thought about calling them these, and I don't know, maybe it's stupid, but I kind of make them like, instead of daily renders, they're more like a daily story. Like they don't necessarily have to be like a brand new thing, like brand new assets every day. I'm just trying to like get like maybe a story across or something like that.
Totally. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dave and Matt, do you guys know Ian Hubert? Do you know that?
I've seen the stuff. I looked it up. He did this really cool
his latest one with the freaking the saucepan,
insanely good.
I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And his like camera projection stuff is insane.
Yeah. It's so good. I'll find a link and I'll put it in the chat.
Cool.
He 3D scans all of his friends and stuff, and he takes them in and he just like makes them where they're like looking around and like they got like a backpack on, like all this just crazy stuff.
Totally. So last one from Martin. Have you ever tried black and white renders? And what do you think of them? Like, what would be your pros and cons? Because for him, he's described it to me that he feels like that's why he's doing his 365 black and white dailies, because it kind of takes one step of the process away. He doesn't have to think about color and integrating assets and their textures and colors so much, so it makes it a lower hanging fruit, but also opens up more of that kind of creative storytelling power, like more of that brain to, you know, computer link kind of thing. And for him, it's also just like, because it's an abstraction, it's not trying to be real life, you know, that helps with the rendering as well.
Yeah, I've done a couple black and whites.
Cool.
Not a lot. Actually, today's was originally going to be a black and white.
Cool.
And then I was like, I kind of chickened out and slapped some gold in there, and then put a sky in the back. But it was originally when I was working on it, I was like, I'm going to make this a black and white, and then I didn't. But yeah, I think that's a really good. I think those kind of challenges are really cool, and that's a huge commitment. Did you say 365?
Yeah,
365. I've been watching this. I mean, obviously, I follow Martin on Instagram and talk to him pretty often on there.
Oh,
and,
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I've been seeing his stuff, and it is cool. It definitely gives a different vibe, and I feel like it really like his piece that he posted up with the statue, like where she's knelt down.
Yeah.
Like the lighting just looks really cool coming in on that.
Totally.
Like it shows like the lighting in like a really cool way. I think black and white does. I think it's a really cool concept. I love it. Yeah.
Cool. Sweet.
Another question here. You said Nick was your first big client. How many years of serious 3D had you done until that point? If more than a few, how did you feel about your progress before and after that first big work?
Sure. So I got into like the daily stuff in 2016 April. I got my first. So Nick, let's see, what was it? It wasn't until 2017, maybe the end, like the last couple months of 2017, that Nick approached me with the Lenium. So it'd been a year and some change that I've been kind of doing my daily stuff, getting kind of honing my 3D skills before that. So that's kind of how that went. So I had a little bit of experience before that. So, and it was kind of nice. Let me just say, it was kind of nice because he came to me, and this happens a lot, and this is quite nice actually. Is a band will come to you when like serious band, and they're like, "Hey, can you make me something that looks like this?" And they give you your own work as the examples. They're like, "We really like." So for like Nick's, his artwork that I made for him, the first one, his album art was essentially one of my dailies that I did, and I just repurposed it for him. It was three glass cubes that had 3 rings in it with like a monk sitting down here, and the light was reflecting off the floor. So I took out the main ring and I put his phoenix in there, like it was on fire. And so that was his album artwork for that album. So that's always nice when a client comes to you, "Hey, we love your work. We want it to look like this that you've already done." And it's like, okay, well, obviously I can do that because I did it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so that's kind of how that went.
And what was your initial motivation to start doing dailies?
Sure. Yeah. So to get better at 3D, honestly, it was just to get better at my 3D skills because I wanted to incorporate 3D more into my work for Walmart. And so I was like, well, I'll just start kind of working on this daily on, when I have an hour at work where I'm not doing anything. I started doing it on my own when our team got laid off at Walmart in October of 2017. So I already kind of had I had a couple clients, and I was just like, okay, and just kind of jumped off that cliff, forced off the cliff, really, which was also kind of a stressful time because my wife was at the time 8 months pregnant. So I went, into my freelance gig with, my wife being super pregnant and not having a safety net, essentially. So, yeah.
And the other part of that question was, what's your goal moving forward? But I'm guessing it's probably always the same goal, right? And doing dailies is to get better.
Yeah, in a similar vein, real quick, someone asked, if you're trying to learn new tools and techniques usually and improve yourself that way through the dailies, or just like unwind and create cool stuff and stories. I'm guessing it's a bit of both, right?
That's a good idea.
It's a little bit of both. And I was actually asked this, I wasn't asked this, someone told me a couple weeks ago. They're like, what was it? Hey, why don't you do something new or something like that? And I was like, well, first of all, I'm just like making this stuff because I like what it looks like. Yeah. I like what I do.
Hey, why don't you stop being such a jerk?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't necessarily want to. But the thing is like my client work, and I told him, I was like, dude, my client work is actually kind of where I kind of venture off and try different things. I did a project for a big real estate company in upstate New York. And let's see if I can explain this to make sense. I found a plugin for Chrome where you can go into Google Earth and take the 3D information, bring that into Blender as an FBX with textures, and then export that out into Cinema. So I created the New York skyline. And then
so it's like Dem Earth if you didn't have to pay for it and it didn't suck.
And it didn't expire all the time.
And it didn't expire all the time, stupid Dem Earth.
Yeah, and you can like get buildings and stuff. So I had like the Empire State Building and stuff like that, like all mapped out. And then I used World Creator to create it. What it was is a horse, essentially, like up on this cliff overlooking the New York skyline. And to get the reflections and everything just right, I decided I'm just going to put the geometry in the scene because everything needs to look like it's one image as opposed to compositing. And so I had to learn how to pose a horse and rig a horse and do the mane and the hair and the tail and the wind and like
Dave's been there.
Yeah. And
with the buffalo or whatever it was, or what?
Oh, there's the buffalo, and
didn't know
you
guys did the
stuff.
horse.
Yeah, the horse. With like the mane.
I've done horses too, but that was back in the day, and I just bought a Turbo Squid model that had pre-animated horse animations and whatnot, so didn't have to worry about that so much.
Yeah.
Well, they had like they wanted a very specific pose, and so I bought it was pre-rigged. I think it was pre-rigged, but I had to like go in and clean up some stuff because it was pretty wonky when you start posing it, and so like I learned how to, do hair in a decent way and like how to, pose horses and how to do this like geometry stuff that people like on Instagram don't have any idea, obviously, because it's client work and I never post client work on my own thing. I should probably put it on Behance, to be honest. But yeah, that's kind of like where I kind of start experimenting is like my client work. When they have an idea, I'm like, that would be kind of cool. I'm going to take a shot at that and see how it turns out. Mm-hmm. And so.
Totally.
What is the program that you used for the 3D stuff in Blender?
Yeah.
And
oh crap!
Was it free or was it a
free.
plugin in Blender?
So it was free. I'm gonna have to, since I had it last, my computer has completely crashed and I lost a lot of my programs. I'll find it and I'll send it to you because it is a fantastic. If you ever have to build like a cityscape, like Seattle, or have to have this Space Needle or whatever. It's free and it works pretty well. Especially if you want to fake a skyline, and it's pretty fast too.
Sweet.
I'll find it. It's just weird. You have to run like this Chrome extension and like do this kind of weird stuff. But once you kind of get the hang of it, it's a pretty sweet plugin.
Huh.
So you had
it's not an actual Blender plugin. That's the thing. It's not a Blender plugin. It's a Chrome plugin that saves out the 3D geometry from Google Earth as a
Is it an FBX?
Shoot. No, it's not FBX. It's something only Blender can open.
Like a GT
and then
GTFO file.
GTF or something. Yeah.
Those can be opened in C4D now, I think, right?
Yeah.
They've got now an importer for those.
Yeah,
or maybe it's an exporter. Yeah, no, they've got an importer as well, yeah.
Okay. See, I'm on R21 still.
Upgrade 23 is 22 and 23 are good. I mean 21 is good. I feel like the jump from 20 to 21, there were actually some substantial changes I feel that are pretty awesome. Like the resolution, especially like with PCs, R20 is just totally crap. Yeah, the interface is a lot better. I mean, obviously R20 was like the best for feels and all that stuff, but yeah, they've made some nice improvements, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I just like the specific version of Octane I have right now. I think it's the latest one, and then R21. Like I went through like all these versions of Octane, and I actually went through like R20 or S22, and then like R23. Find like the way like my world creator maps were coming in and were looking super jaggedy and weird.
Oh, so you reverted.
And so I reverted back, and I'm like, okay, everything's smooth. I'm not gonna mess with anything.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to go if you're finding like getting into an issue like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So this is the last one about like dailies. So do you come up with a story first, or do you often start from like a hero model and build a concept around that?
Yeah. Both kind of. I mean, it's weird. It's like the other day I had the guy reaching out with his hand, and it was kind of like more of like a personal piece when like it was like it's okay to ask for help. I know it's like cheesy, but sometimes like, when you're just kind of feeling beat down, like for me personally, it was just like, sometimes you just need to ask for help from someone. So like stuff like that, sometimes it's more story driven personally. Sometimes it's just what would look cool if you were there.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, and it sounds kind of dumb, but it's like if you were like a fly on the wall in like these like scenarios, like how cool would it be to be able to like look around and like see all this stuff going on or whatever.
That makes sense.
I mean, that's pretty much it, really.
The plugin is called Maps Model Importer.
That's Billy.
Billy found it and he threw it in our Slack. I threw it in our chat, so Dave will put it in the notes.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. The learning curve is pretty steep on it. Follow the directions as close as possible. Do everything exactly as it says.
All right.
And it's pretty sweet. Actually, almost a year ago, I did a scene of the Colosseum, and I got the model using that technique, and it has I think my two like kind of ghost dudes, and there's like a big giant like light cross or something in the middle of it because it was during the coronavirus when they were getting like nailed over there in Italy. I made it, but I pulled that geometry out of Google Maps using that technique.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's
cool.
awesome.
It looks
I
cool.
like that
It
you're
looks
like
very cool.
I like that you're totally into like those weird experimental like techniques. Like, cause you, for a long time, and I'm guessing you're still doing this, you shoot your own like images and then convert them to, you know, normal maps and bump maps and all that kind of stuff. To me, that's like extra effort, but that's awesome that you make your own custom like assets basically. Yeah.
I mean, especially like tree bark and stuff like that. I mean, it's and the thing is, like, I have Alchemist, but to be 100% honest, and this might just be me, maybe I'm lazy and I don't want to like take the time to really learn Alchemist, but the the B to M, Substance B to M, still is awesome to me.
I mean, I love it.
Yeah. It's
I haven't tried that yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Super easy. The tiling, the way it handles tiling is fantastic, and the displacement that it pumps out is great. It looks awesome.
Have you tried Quixel Mixer? Because everybody's all obsessed with that too, as far as like generating textures.
Let's see, what was it with Quixel Mixer? I was having something weird was happening where it wasn't syncing up with like my library or something, and I couldn't get like my textures and like my own stuff to like work properly and then save properly. So I kind of gave up. I should probably go back in. It's probably been updated.
Yeah.
I had that problem. But yeah, I think making your own textures is great. I mean, it's cool. If you learn how to do it, you can make a lot of cool stuff. You know,
Totally.
I'm just like with 3D scanning though. I mean, the people that do 3D scanning can do all kinds of crazy stuff now. So
yeah, for sure.
One of the questions in the chat was about your Instagram. Is there an advantage to not posting client work on your Instagram?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because that can kind of like if you have kind of a vibe going with your dailies, that could kind of put a little wrench in it, right?
Yeah. I mean, technically, I've already kind of thrown a wrench in it doing my promo stuff, like, hey, Nifty gateway, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's related though. You could always archive it later.
Yeah. But yeah, I try to keep my Instagram, I guess, kind of like in a similar theme, kind of like a similar style. I need to make a Behance page probably that has my client work. That'd probably be the best thing to do.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because people can enjoy it a little better on their screens and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't think Instagram, for me personally, isn't the place to post up client work. So
yeah.
Last one that I've got. So this is from Jorge Hurtado. What advice do you have? This is pretty general for people looking to make a career in the 3D world.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
Yeah, definitely.
This is a tough one because it's almost like luck. Who helps a lot.
I'll disagree, but go ahead.
Okay.
I'll disagree, but go ahead.
No, that's good. I want to know why. I would say luck, saturating the market, saturation, Instagram, Behance, ArtStation, if you want to get your name out there. It's okay. I know people do daily renders. There's like a crap ton, but you never know when yours is going to be the one that someone sees and they're like, that's the look we want. Like that's the thing that we want. And then it's, from there, you just kind of, it's so random, it seems. I mean, the only thing that you can really do is get your stuff out there for people to see. I mean, if you don't do that, no one's going to know ever.
I mean, there's that component, but there is also word of mouth, which plays a huge factor. Like, there are tons of artists that are brilliant and running the studio circuit, and nobody knows of them. But all the studios, all the big studios like Elastic, The Mill, Man vs. Machine, they all know these artists, but they don't have an online presence. You don't have to have an online presence to be successful.
That's true.
There are multiple ways that you can be successful as a 3D artist, but for you, you've gone the route of
personally, that's how it's been for me. That's all I can speak.
That's what worked for you.
There's different avenues and routes.
I think saying luck, well, yes, there are some small aspects of luck involved. I think like having so much work, putting so much work out there, putting your work out there for people consistently. Yeah, exactly. Like that 100%, will get you noticed and will get you followers and will get you work, versus having one piece go viral, out of like, you put out one every month or something and having one piece go viral and then that's lucky. But I don't think that comes along very often.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think you're being a little humble.
Well, you can try
by
like,
saying it's luck. I think you shouldn't degrade the work that you do.
I appreciate that.
You can really try to go viral though. Like we can all think up concepts that involve Baby Yoda or just really funny things, and that's a good way to go viral quickly. Like Justin LeDuc is a good example of someone who very intentionally went viral. He was like, I'm going to sit here and make something for a month that I think is going to make a big splash because it's crazy and like nothing people have seen, and then it did.
Bridge.
Yeah, the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bridge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's just kind of, get your stuff out there.
Yeah,
if you can. That's how I did it. So
and be consistent. I think consistent is like 100%.
I would also say attention to detail is super, super important. Like obviously, like your talent and like skill levels matter a ton too, and like attention to detail and making sure your work is really high quality can really set you apart. And then
James says there's like so many artists out there that nobody knows about, and that's how I feel. I'll go be on Instagram and I'll be like, who is this person? They have like 1 million followers. I'm like, I've never heard of this person before, like all the time, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
There
we are.
Yeah.
Great.
So what's next?
I'm very excited about your drop, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Like I already told my wife that I'm gonna buy one.
Have you ever thought of doing like a drop of like a whole year of your everydays, like people?
Oh, man, I don't even know how to
do that. No, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, geez, I feel like that's a lot of work. Like that's good for him.
Totally.
People just posted on Twitter like an hour ago, like a panning shot of all the tokens and all the signed things that he did. Yeah, it's super cool.
That's crazy.
Should bring it up.
I've actually never talked to him before.
Really?
Never talked to him.
How?
No way, bro.
When we were
you gotta party with people, man. You gotta come out when NAB happens again.
You gotta come out to some of these meetups.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is this thing you were talking about?
Party people is
Was this on
Party People?
Was this on Twitter or Instagram? Is this a story, Matt?
Twitter.
It's on Twitter. Okay.
Yeah, it's on Twitter. Here, I'll send you the link.
No, I mean I'm on his thing now. So. I saw this earlier. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, this is cool.
Let me bring this up. When are we getting our physical copies, yo? That's what I'm excited about.
It should be soon, I'm assuming. I hit him up.
He's working hard on that stuff. Yeah. Like I asked him if he wanted to like take LCR, and he was like, "Bro, I'm too fucking busy right now." Yeah, so I'm assuming he's just like.
I love the physical coin. I think that is so cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that attached? The coin, is it attached to the piece in the plexiglass thing, or is it separate?
It's separate. It's separate.
Oh, it is. Okay.
That's
so
rad.
like, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff there, man.
Damn.
So I was gonna give a blood sample on mine, but I thought.
But I only have
on those little. I don't know if you guys watch Dexter with the little trophy. Like, just a little blood slide. Just send that off.
That's funny. That would be funny.
He's doing hair. I mean, crap. I gotta step it up. Like I'm gonna have to like blood or something.
Level is blood. Obviously. Let's not continue thinking about what other bodily.
Dude, I wasn't gonna say anything. I was gonna let someone else take
let
that.
It slide.
There
Yeah,
you go.
no, I get on that one.
My wife said there's always that line there, and I'm just kind of like always like,
I just crossed it.
Yep,
yeah,
crossed the line.
Yeah,
it wasn't me this time. Wasn't me.
I didn't say it.
Didn't say it.
That
Insinuated.
Yeah, that's funny.
So besides the drop, what's next?
What's next?
Yeah.
Man, see, that's a. I've been thinking of that for like the past 3 years. It's like, what do you do next? I mean, honestly, what I'm doing now is fine. Like I'm comfortable, right? Like I get good client work, bills are paid, everything's fine. Mm-hmm. I mean, like every once in a while, I'm like, man, it'd be cool to have like a little, 5-man team and like tackle some crazy stuff. Yeah. I don't really know. I'm just kind of just going with the flow. I would like to be like, here's my.
But like taking a month off to do something. I'm like, how could you ever Like, do you think you could ever take a month off and do something like that?
Like, just get something started?
Just be like, oh, I'm going to take a month off and I'm going to do this thing. I'm not going to do any other...
Like a short film or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would love to.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I don't know.
I want to do like more work retreats where, I go off like somewhere for 3 weeks and just like focus on whatever it is I want to learn. Substance, Fusion 360, whatever,
I daydream about that sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Be like, I'm gonna take a month off. I'm gonna learn freaking like substance designer or painter, ZBrush, and just be the best at it.
Billy Chicken said, I take months off all the damn time. LMAO.
Me and my wife are talking about like taking a month during the summer and just like renting out an Airbnb somewhere, and I'll bring a computer with me and I'll just work from, like we were talking about staying for a month in Key West,
That'd be awesome.
to where I work like, 6 hours out of the day and then we go to the beach for the rest of the day.
You have to make sure they have like
you'll get nothing
internet.
done. Yeah,
get nothing.
You'll get nothing done. Let's be honest. You'll be at the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With my computer.
EJ's trolling our chat.
EJ says that
people school samples will be the new meaning to the term drop.
Oh man, see, I wouldn't think of that one. That's
me either.
I was just going blood, but I guess a little poo.
Yeah,
school samples. And again, we come back to poop.
Yeah, I know.
Again.
Oh my goodness.
So like as far as super rare, did you like do pretty well there, or like how have you found that? No,
not at all.
Okay.
And the reason is because I think, like I was saying, I jumped into it when Ethereum was 600, and I kind of like left it going at like a 4 ETH price or something like that, and then I got back on and checked like 2 weeks later, and Ethereum was like 1,000 or whatever, and I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
So it's been this real learning curve. Someone actually did buy my Spacing. I think it was like for 2.9 Ethereum.
Okay, so that's not bad.
That's awesome.
I made a sell on there. I have that. I have the an animated loop on there right now. That's, I think I made like an auction, but I think the auction price is probably too high at this point. Which I'll probably end up having to cancel that. So I blew $50 on posting it, and then someone will come along like they did with my previous one and then make an offer. The cool thing about that is people can keep, it seems like when someone makes one offer, then more offers start coming in, which is weird. But and then you get to an offer, you're like, I'll take that, and then you accept it, and then on to them.
The process with Nifty, I mean, obviously it's more exclusive, but I feel like that's where people are like really making it big and like making the big amounts of money. I mean, super rare can be great for some people, I think.
I like the idea that you can pay with like a credit card, on Nifty.
And they like hype it so much. Everyone's aware of the drops because it's like the next big drop. Versus super rare, you just upload something, maybe people see it, maybe people don't. There's no like advertising surrounding it, though it's more accessible for more artists that way.
It's I think it's like you were saying, and I didn't know this, like for Nifty, if people can pay with like credit cards, I think that is a big thing that people shy away from maybe with the other sites, is because they're like, how do I get, what the crap's cryptocurrency? How do I get this stuff? How do I buy something with this? Like, as opposed to like Nifty, where they can just be like, oh, I want to buy it with my debit card or whatever.
Yeah.
Credit card. So it's maybe more accessible, less scary.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well,
I like being able to resell it on Nifty too. That's nice.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I got a couple links for you.
Can you not resell things on Super
I mean, I'm
Rare
sure you
as well?
can.
Yeah.
I think you can.
Yeah.
But like being able to just immediately relist it, it's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. A couple links for you. And number one.
Dave's links. Dave's links.
Dave's links.
Do-do-do-do-do. Number one is we made a better CGI Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Saw that.
Yeah.
I love this. What are you going to say?
I was gonna say, by me saying it would be spoilers. I was gonna say,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's okay to spoil it. Everybody should have watched The Mandalorian at this point.
If not,
just do it.
I don't know.
Their whole
Spoiler
video
alert.
is a spoiler. Like just
That's
the
true.
CGI Luke Skywalker thing you already said is a spoiler. So might as well.
Mandalorian spoilers coming up. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the video is on YouTube. It's this is yes, Corridor Digital. Took me a minute, and they talked about how they did a deep fake to make a better looking Luke Skywalker.
And they did. They actually succeeded.
Yeah.
And it's absurd to me that in 3 weeks or however long it took them, that they made a better looking version than $1 billion company or billions of dollars Disney. You know?
Because the way they approach it.
I haven't seen it. But
the only things that don't hold up in my mind are the green screen. The keying around the hair is like could be a little bit better. It's
the
a little
gammas
bit,
on the foreground, right? Like they were a little.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they did well with color matching. It's just like I can tell that it's been keyed. So that's one thing, but that's like whatever. But the deep fake itself is a lot better.
Right.
And then like the hair, the wig that they used is slightly like too shiny and too dark compared to Luke's. And the mouth movements are never going to be perfect, but they're actually better than the original.
So did they deep fake it?
They did. Yeah, they used Dean from their studio, who was the closest looking person there to Luke, and they filmed him and they put like some flickering lights on him and like brought his lightsaber up so that it actually casts on his face. So they like paid more attention to the lighting. And then they trained. They've got a system with a 3090, and they trained it for like 10 days. And Nico's actually gotten to be a pretty big expert at deepfakes. Like he's done it a bunch himself, but he's also collaborated with people that are really, really good at deepfakes too. So he knows a lot about it at this point.
I think deepfakes is like I don't understand why anyone would go the 3D route of actually like redoing it.
Well, I think
because
Disney,
it doesn't look real. Deepfakes, on the other hand, looks real.
Yeah. I mean, Disney, they did develop their own proprietary deepfake system. If you watch the video, so they did some deep level of deepfakery in this, but they also combined it with other techniques. So they may have done they did like a body and face double, and then they did a CG face on top of that, and then deepfaked that. So there's like layers of weirdness, and ultimately like it's just too stiff, and they were afraid to do any kind of movement, and the expression is not there. But if you watch the Corridor version, like Luke smiles and looks legit, and it's like there's so much more expression, and the way his eyes move, like the way the eyes move in the Mandalorian one is not right, because your eyes never just like smoothly animate from one place to another. They jump, and so you can see that in the deep faked version, because it's a completely different technique than trying to do it all in 3D.
Yeah.
Travis David's. Did you see the South Park characters?
I love that. It was amazing.
That's like he used the AI like deep fake type-ish.
Yeah, he used like Face App and a bunch of these iPhone apps. So Travis David's like built the South Park characters in 3D, but then like used AI to generate faces. Like just took his renders in and generated faces. So like that totally works with and maybe it would even
similar to what Nathan Shipley's doing.
I don't know Nathan Shipley.
Oh man.
He'll be on next week.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, isn't that crazy to think in the future, not too long from now, we could just like have crappy CG faces and like deep fake something better onto them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old Rainbow Six Vegas. I don't know if you remember this, any of you guys. You could take a picture of your face on the Xbox, the Kinect, and then put it on your character.
Oh, that's awesome.
I remember that. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So
that's gonna be disturbing though if you're like constantly shooting yourself.
It's hilarious because you'd be like, and you pose, so like you run around a corner and you run into your friend, and he's going, like his face is all jacked up looking. It's pretty funny.
I think it's something about. I feel like that might be like crossing a line. Like if we had realistic versions of ourselves and our faces in the. What's that? Black Mirror. It is totally
Yeah.
Fall in love with yourself.
Yeah.
The thing about the deepfake that they brought up in that video was about the subtleties of some of your muscle movements in your face, and what you're saying about like the eyes and everything. It's like you would see him talking in the original, and nothing above the nose is moving at all. You know, even if you're not moving and you're talking, there's still these little subtle muscle
Yeah.
movements that happen,
Right.
twitches and things. But,
Yeah.
Details.
The other link I have is something called Goodbye Donald Trump, which was something that was done on Jimmy Kimmel. It was like monuments and things
gosh,
dancing,
this
but
is stupid.
well, it was Tom Coben who did it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it?
Yeah,
That's funny.
and
it would be Tom Coben.
so yeah, and so I wanted to bring it up because of that, because he posted the other day that he did that. But it was a bunch of different people dancing and like monuments dancing and paintings singing and things, I guess. So,
That's amazing. Did you guys see how Smearballs became fake news?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we
That
mentioned
was hilarious.
yeah. That's all I have for the links, though. I don't really have much other than that.
Sorry, Tom.
but-
I didn't mean to call them
there's
that they
Tom.
were stupid.
Hey, I made a bunch of those. What up?
So let's dive now into Mograph recommends, and this is where we're gonna ask you your.
We are at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah,
Here
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
the last hour.
Of course.
we knew it. It was going to happen.
We're gonna start though, and I have to go grab my drink, so I'm gonna start and I'm gonna run for like 30 seconds. We're gonna start with your favorite movie, and to give you a little heads up on this and make it possibly a little bit easier, this doesn't have to be your all-time favorite. It could be a recent favorite if it makes it easier. So go ahead and I'll be right back.
Man, I don't know. Like, I always come back to like the first Matrix movie.
Okay, yeah.
Like, that movie for me was like really good. I mean, even still, like if I see it on TV or something like that, I'm just like,
Yeah.
like I've seen it, you know, a million times. I think the concept and just everything about it was just like so cool to me at the time. That's the first time where I really like paid attention to like color grading and stuff like that. You know, like when they're in the computer world, everything kind of had like this green overtone, and then they're anyway. Yeah, I'd probably say that would be for me.
It's a good choice.
Yeah.
That was
it is.
definitely like such a definitive movie in my teenage years, you know, just like, yeah, for all of us, I'm sure.
You can put that up there with like Jurassic Park and Terminator 2 as like those definitive VFX 3D animation.
Yeah,
you know,
pushing the
staples.
boundaries.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Adam Jones from Tool, I believe, was one of the puppeteers in Jurassic Park, the original movie.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Someone asked earlier, what was the band that you were in?
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. So the band name was called Starks,
Okay.
and the reason it was is because the drummer, guitar player, huge Van Halen fans, their last name was Stark, so it was like Starks, and we just kind of like stuck with it. And yeah, we played here. We mainly played like Little Rock. We played some in Austin. And that was really about it at the time. I mean, this is right after like 9/11 happened, so like the music scene kind of died a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
I feel like I've always said that every successful 3D animator, there is a failed musician.
Yeah.
Right.
Failed, man. I'm still getting started, man. What are you talking about?
And a wife who's either a teacher or a hairstylist.
Or a hairstylist, yeah.
True,
Either of those, but
That's funny.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
All right, what's next? Dave?
All right,
Favorite
next
TV
up.
show?
Music.
Music. Oh, this is very tough for me. Because this is really tough because I don't have like, oh man. Like I love just I don't even call it metal. It's just like I saw someone post in there. They go, I bet you he listens to Meshuggah. That is true. I do.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely.
All right.
Nirvana. I don't wear this because it's pop. I wear this because I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Actually, Kurt
Real
Cobain
fan.
is who got me playing guitar back in 8th
Same
grade.
here. Same
Okay,
here.
nice. There you go.
Yeah.
I heard their Unplugged album, and I was like, this is freaking sweet. Like,
Yeah.
this is awesome. And
So is that a real shirt that you had
No.
from back in the
No,
day, or
so-
is it like the Target brand
This is
ironic
Target.
80s shirt? Okay.
Yeah,
This
it's
is Target.
Target.
Okay.
Ironic 80s.
Yeah.
I do have an original sweater, though, that has this exact same logo on it that is from the early 90s. It's actually my snowboarding sweater that I use when I go. I still have that one.
Vintage.
So it's not pop culture where it's like when I see teenager, like, okay, when I see like people wearing these, and I don't want to be like teenagers, they're like 13, 14 years old. I don't want to judge them. I mean, it's probably like when we would wear Led Zeppelin t-shirts and stuff when we were kids, right?
Right.
But like I see them wearing it, I'm like, dude, do you even know who Nirvana is? Like, come on now.
Your parents got you that shirt.
Like, man. Anyway. So
I mean, but still, like, would you put your kid in a Nirvana shirt?
Like, I did. I put my second daughter, when she was like 2, I had a black Nirvana shirt with this logo on it. Yeah.
Yep. Nice. I mean, I put my kid in a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon, shirt, and it's like,
my parents did that to me too. That's why I went to school with a Billy Joel shirt on every day.
That's why you like crappy music.
Yeah. That's why I had a
man, music is tough, man. So it goes from like Meshuggah, I don't know if you guys know who they are, to like, like Nirvana, like old school, like kind of grunge stuff. But I like Tycho, and but I also like 9 Inch Nails, and then I like a guitar player named Tommy Emmanuel, who's just acoustic guitar, just by himself playing. So it's like this weird, like my Spotify like playlist is just like jacked up. I mean, it's just metal and then classical, and there's nothing like. It's just kind of the mood I'm in for the day. Like I'll get on like a week where I'm like, okay, 9 Inch Nails, that's where it is for me for the week. Or I'll get into a mood where it's like, Tool. Also, can't forget Tool, man. I love Tool. I've been a Tool fan since like '97.
The album was pretty good.
It's pretty sweet. I saw them in concert once back like in 2003. It was awesome. Perfect Circle. So yeah, it's kind of a little bit of everything, really.
And when you're working though, it doesn't matter to you, or do you have to have like a specific type of music for working?
So all the bands I just named are pretty much fair game. Also soundtracks, music soundtrack. Skyrim soundtrack is awesome.
Or put on Back to Future soundtrack every once in a while, get hype.
Sure, okay. There you go. Yeah. Star Wars, man, I can't help it. Every time I hear the Star Wars theme song, I just told my wife this the other day. I've heard it thousands of times probably. I still want to just get up and start punching things. Just like you stuff. Just, like be pumped up.
The Superman soundtrack's pretty good. Classic Superman. It's funny. There's a point in it. Every time I hear it now, since I was a kid, my parents had a copy of the record from somebody that they recorded from someone's record onto tape, but it had a skip in it. So every time I hear that part now, it's like
you always hear it with the
you hear the little ear, like they were like trying to record it, and they didn't start over. They just left the record scratch. So now all I hear is the record scratch in it. But that was super, super good record growing up.
I used to have like janky MP3 files downloaded from Napster or whatever that would have skips in them, and I would it would start getting in my head that was part of the song. So when I would hear the song for real, it would like trigger me that skip was going to happen.
It's funny. Yeah. Good old Winamp days.
Yep.
Winamp.
Cornelius so I keep like failing at pronouncing his name. Domrick. I don't know. Whatever. I'm terrible at it. But anyway, he used to design. He revealed on the podcast in LCR that he used to design Winamp skins when.
Oh, nice.
That's like how he started.
Holy crap.
Yep.
Or you'd open it up and it would say Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass.
Yep.
What? I don't even understand what that meant. It was
I never used Winamp.
I used the skins, man. I always had crazy Winamp skins.
That's funny. We were talking about that on Winbush's stream on Saturday too, about Winamp skins.
Nice. Yeah.
I never listened to stuff on computer. I always listened to just like MP3 discs or CDs or whatever.
On your Diamond Rio.
I was never at my computer enough to do that stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Man,
I should find my Diamond Rio is somewhere. It's probably worth a lot of money, right?
Diamond Rio, man. Old school country too, man. I've had my fair share of old school country. Listen to it back in the day.
Diamond Rio. So this is the weird thing. Diamond Rio was the name of a band, but also the name of the first big MP3 player that hit. It was my company called Diamond and the device was called the Rio. It was always so confusing to me why it was called Diamond Rio when there was a band called Diamond Rio.
Yeah, it's like their MP3 player or something. Like
I don't think they had to do with each other. That's what was so odd. Yeah,
that's weird.
I mean, but you could get like 5 whole songs on that bad boy.
Oh yeah, I remember I used to have little MP3 players, like a little brick, and yeah, you could put like 10 songs on it, so you had to like be really picky at what you put on there.
That might have been the Diamond Rio.
Might have
Could have been. Let's see.
Sweet hit clips, that played like 30 seconds of a popular song. Don't you remember hit clips?
I don't remember that.
No, they were awful.
I
It
remember
was
now
all
that's what I
Sounds
call
awful.
music.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
Do they still make that?
yeah, probably.
Now
Yeah.
that's what I call
That
music over
Pure
9,000.
Moods. Remember Pure Moods?
Pyramids, man.
Yeah. that was my
Enya,
jam.
Anya,
Yeah, Enya. Yeah.
Jock jams.
Jock
Jams.
They taught us how to love.
See.
All right, Dave.
Now
What's the next
music,
question?
All
okay.
right, next one.
Holy cow, they're on now. That's what I call music 107.
That makes sense.
Wow.
Not surprising.
107 years old.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. It's been
Ah.
107 years.
What's stupid is like they give you the track list, and it's like, okay, well now I'm just gonna go make a Spotify playlist if I want.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
funny.
The next thing on the list is your favorite TV show.
Man, this one's really tough. I mean, I really, really like Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
So good.
A lot. I don't know. Okay, you've seen it then.
The-
I don't know if a lot of you guys have seen it.
The
I
gun
haven't seen it.
episode where they're trying to buy guns and then they're also the other two are trying to like, stop guns and how they completely flip-flop by the end of it. Oh,
yes.
it's so good.
I mean, the one where they all find out they have alcohol withdrawal, where they like think they're dying. Like it's just if you guys haven't, it's 20-minute episodes. They're hilarious.
It's good. It's good. Like if you don't know what to watch,
Yeah.
just put on It's Always
funny.
Sunny in Philadelphia.
funny.
Like it's great.
Schitt's Creek's really good. I don't know if you guys have seen
So
that.
good. I finished it last week.
Did ya?
It's such a good show.
Isn't that a great show, man? It's
It
so
is-
so stress relieving. It makes you feel good. It's just
Yes.
it's just so great. Schitt's Creek.
It
really
is
good.
such a good wholesome show. Like
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
It's
Oh.
great.
And the
There's Kevin.
there was
Yeah. Oh, he says
There's a-
Breaking Bad is the best show he's ever seen, except maybe The Wire.
yeah.
Okay.
The Wire. I've heard about The
Oh,
Wire actually.
Yeah.
That was really good.
There's a behind the scenes.
This is the inside joke, Stu.
Schitt's Creek
Yeah.
on Netflix right now. That's really good.
Okay,
You
I was
should
gonna watch that. I saw. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
This is the inside jokes too, because every single week Kevin gets on this chat to tell us Breaking Bad and The Wire are the best shows ever.
Yeah.
So this is like
Family
literally
Guy.
for the past like several, maybe I'd
It's
say
probably
like 4
been a
months.
year at
It's
least.
been a year.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's a Family
See?
Guy thing.
And
That's what
actually, I
Consistency.
started. Chelsea and I tried to start watching The Wire the other night, but it was very late and we were too tired and
Yeah.
it didn't
Yeah.
make any sense. Like, so we were just like,
I've
let's
been
try
told
this
you have
this
to
time.
get like 4 episodes in
I've watched
Okay.
the
before
first
you start
episode 3
liking it.
times.
And I'm like, I don't know if I have 4 hours to
patience.
invest.
Yeah.
I
Time is
mean,
valuable
I already
in
watched
that right now.
Devs, and that almost destroyed me.
Right.
Yeah. I noticed something. Okay, I watched Twister the other day, right?
Okay.
Why?
The movie?
Yeah, to introduce my daughter to the movie. It's a good movie to show your kid.
I liked the movie
you know.
back in the day.
But the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
who was like the main driver,
Oh,
he was the guy who was one of the guys in Devs. You know the guy who's like he's like the security guy in Devs. He was the guy who's the driver in Twister who gets like impaled by the antenna.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't notice that. I was like, that guy hasn't aged at all.
You
But
finished Devs, right?
No.
Oh
I
my
have,
gosh.
Like 2 episodes I have. I've started
See,
so
the
many
last
things.
2 episodes are the best
But
episodes.
this is
That's
my
the only
problem.
reason why you watch it.
I can't get into anything right now. I'm trying. I tried all sorts of different things. What I am really digging right now is WandaVision.
Yeah, me too.
oh,
It's
so
very
yes, I want to
good.
get into that. I
It's
haven't
so
started
good.
that one yet.
I love it.
Really good so far. Like it's
Y'all
just
see this
Marvel
last
is like such a
episode?
genius studio. Yeah.
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 So
yes.
Mhm.
I mean, just the way they're going, it's so different. It's like, oh, okay, something different for once. Like,
So, but like, here's the thing. Like, I guess they're going through a bunch of like, okay, so first episode was obviously Dick Van Dyke inspired. Second one was Bewitched inspired. Third one was Brady Bunch
Brady
inspired.
Bunch.
And it's like, okay, but man, I really liked the black and white Dick Van Dyke like
Yeah.
jokes and whatever. It's
It
like
was so
I
charming.
don't know.
But it's just trippy enough to where something will happen and you're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Your mind, you're like, what's going on?
Even like little stops, all of a sudden something will happen and it will get awkward and everyone's staring at each other and you're like, did I just think that was weird?
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe it's the gummy. I don't know.
So good. Right.
The weird cut in this last episode. Oh, yeah. Like, I thought my streaming had messed up.
There was a frame of black in there. Like, they threw like a couple black frames in there.
Yeah.
It wasn't the rewind effect that they used before. It was like kind of like a jolt. And I was, for a second, I questioned. I was like, did they screw up? No. That was completely intentional. Yeah.
It's good.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out. I'll be the next on the list to watch for sure.
Yeah.
I have no idea where it's going. The thing is, I do know a little bit about the backstory, but like I'm not a big movie watcher, and I'm really not a big superhero movie watcher. So it's a little different approaching this show.
Have you not seen all the Marvel movies or what?
I haven't.
Oh, dude.
I do know about their backstory now because I kind of looked it up to understand like what I'm watching.
You need to at least see like Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame at the very least. And then obviously like Thor Ragnarok, the Ant-Man movies are both so good.
Ragnarok is so good.
Ragnarok's the best.
That's probably
the
it's all on Disney. So I should just go check it out.
Have you at least seen Thor Ragnarok?
Here's the thing is I've seen like 80 I've seen like 80% of all these movies at any given time because they're either been on or I've seen this part and I've seen another part later. It's not like I don't
need to sit down and like watch it through to like appreciate, like it's really good storytelling.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I'll go back at some point. Now that
I feel like the MCU is like one of those things where like the storytelling, the level of quality of storytelling matches the budget. And like that's so rare. Usually it's like this is just VFX, like, and the story somehow got left out. The DC movies. I would even go as far as to argue that The Mandalorian, like they did not spend enough time on, or budget on the story there. It's like it drops off so many times. I know you do, but I
agree with you.
I thought the storytelling
Side Quest City for like half of the second season.
I know.
Tons of
I agree. I totally
you gotta binge
agree.
it. You gotta binge it.
It doesn't make a difference to me whether
Mandalorian is a binge-worthy show. You have to binge it. You can't go week to week because you just won't think it's that good.
I wouldn't think it was good regardless. I promise you.
No.
I think that it's
agree
entertaining.
with you.
Like I do think it's entertaining. I just think like maybe the writers weren't. It was literally why am I blanking on the creator's name?
John Favreau.
Yeah, Favreau like wrote a bunch of the episodes, and maybe it's like he's just not the best writer. I don't know.
2 out of 2 Davids agree.
Yeah. So it must be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll disagree, but okay.
We know. Let's fight about it.
Next on the list, podcasts. Do you listen to podcasts? And if so, what do you like to listen to?
Besides you guys?
Well, of
you
course.
Listen to us?
So here's the thing.
You're like, because you told us to listen beforehand.
I pull you guys up on Mondays, and I have you on here, and I'll be like working on something, and then I'm like, crap, I really want to listen to some music right now. So I try to somehow listen to music and listen to you guys
at the same time. Oh gosh,
it doesn't always work out. No, actually, I mean, I listen to there's this podcast my wife she listens to, and she kind of got me into it, and I can't remember the freaking name of it now. It's basically this. I'll just tell you this quick snaps of it. It's a guy who people write into him saying, "Hey, I have this problem. I'm holding this grudge I've held on to forever," and he takes that information, and he's kind of like I guess like a PI almost. And he goes and he tries to like right these wrongs of people's past and help people like deal with stuff. But it's not always just people. Sometimes it's like there was this one movie, I can't remember what it was, from like the 80s, and someone like broke that line. Like they looked at the camera, they broke the wall, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And he's like, the person called in, they're like, this has been bothering me for 30 years. And the guy's like, all right, I'm going to find the person who was in that movie who broke that wall. And like, I can't remember the name of the podcast.
That's interesting.
But that's like the only one that I have ever really like listened to over the past like couple of years.
Cool.
wish I knew the name of the guy. Jonathan something.
Colton?
No, it's like a shoot, man. I don't know. I could holler at my wife right now and ask her, but
just text her.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll put it in the show notes if you find it.
Okay.
Okay. What about favorite plugin?
Favorite plugin. I mean, I use Octane, obviously. Out of all the plugins, that's I guess would have to be my favorite because that's what I use all the time. Forester is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love Quixel Bridge also.
Oh yeah,
that's
the best.
Quixel Bridge is just for like knocking stuff out.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, plugin, I would say Octane's at the top, and then probably Bridge, and then probably Forester.
Nice. Maybe y'all can answer this question for me, because we paid for a Quixel Bridge license, right? And the other day, and I don't understand this, and maybe it's just me, but every time you log into Quixel Bridge, or every time you open the program, it asks you to log in again. And I'm like, why does it ask me to log in every time? So I had been using my Epic account, and I clicked on Epic every time to log in. Well, and it would come up and it would autofill the name and password for me, right? So something happened the other day, and it wouldn't take my name and my password. And I was like, why is this? Did I use a different name? And I just signed up with Epic under a different email address or a different name. I could not figure it out. So I ended up doing like some other Epic address that I had. And it logged me in, and it showed me all the things I usually see, which is export this to Cinema 4D, blah, 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 blah. But also, I think somehow it's just like the same version you can use for Unreal. So like all of a sudden the whole credit system thing went away. I'm like, how does that work?
Weird.
Is it the honor system? Like you have to be using this for Unreal only for it to count as like the free one where you can like use unlimited assets? Or is it the honor system for Cinema? I don't understand. Maybe it's an accident, but
yeah, personally, like for me, I've always just signed in. I didn't sign in through any like my EA or any of that stuff. I have the credits, and I paid what is it, $20 a month or whatever for it. So I can't. I don't know. I had one friend that was like, "Hey, I signed in using my EA account, and now I have all this stuff for free." And I'm not sure if he's using it in like Cinema or Octane. I know if it's like an FBX, then I'm not sure how it comes out when you're using it.
Carlos said the same thing. Same thing happened to me, unlimited credits. And I swear somebody else said that too to me at one point. Was like, oh, I don't pay for it. I just have it. And I'm like, oh, is it the honor system?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never run into that problem, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, where's Windbush? Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It must be honor system or something. I don't know. Okay, what is your favorite app on your phone? Your go-to muscle memory favorite app?
I mean, probably Instagram, I guess.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get into TikTok. So my TikTok stream is just all animals, like pets and like.
Oh, that's funny.
And like
you're on like, Pet Talk.
It's like yeah, it's just like baby pigs and raccoons and like cows and like crap like that, and like I don't know. I mean, I use those two. Let me look here. I don't know really. That's really it. On Twitter, I use Twitter.
Yeah.
Also, but yeah, probably Instagram, Twitter, TikTok has become quite popular here. So
yeah, Gwarns or G-Warns, I don't know, whichever. What up, G-Warns? If you sign in with the Epic Games, everything is free to download, but only if you use it in an Unreal project, and it's based on trust. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Well, I got to figure that out. Anyway.
Yeah.
But hey, we pay for it, so it's... favorite life hack? The hard one here.
So I hate having to pre-drill holes in the wall.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang something.
Okay.
So I got the impact. This is really a life hack. This is more of like, I didn't know this. Maybe someone else doesn't know this. Impact driver.
Okay.
Fantastic. Way easy. Like you don't have to pre-drill holes. You want to hang up like curtains. I hung up my. I have a 65-inch TV in our living room, and it was up too high. And so I made essentially a giant, I pulled 2 2x4s, lowered it, drilled them into this. So I'm drilling through a 2x4, or maybe it was a 1x2. Anyway, it's pretty thick piece of wood, and then into a stud. And I didn't even have to like pre-drill anything. I just used the impact driver, and it just like cranked that sucker straight through two pieces of two, and hung my TV up on it. Looks awesome. If you can get one of those and you hate having to like pre-drill stuff, you got a lot of stuff you got to do around the house. Awesome to have.
You can buy anchors like that too that are they drill themselves, and you don't have to like make sure you get the right drill bit size and accidentally drill a little bit too big or any of that.
Right.
Like,
that's super annoying. But this was pretty impressive because they're like lug nut screws. Like they're pretty big.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it's kind of weird because like when you use it and it like kicks into the impact mode, so it goes from like a normal drill like to like this super loud like shockingly loud pounding where you think you're breaking something, but that's like when it's doing its real job and stuff. So anyway, anyone out there that hates having to drill holes, get one of those.
Cool. Well, that's it.
Wait, did we do favorite video game? Come on.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not a normal question.
This is the most important question
you
could possibly ask, and you don't include it every week.
So, and I don't know if you guys have played
maybe
this.
I should add it.
Yeah, you should.
All right.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Nice.
I started playing it.
Dude,
my stepson Cyrus loved that one so
attention
much.
to detail. I've been playing on my computer. Like when I first started walking in the snow, and the snow was like plowing out of the way everywhere you walked, I was like, holy crap. And then like riding your horse and like looking around and like seeing like these god rays, and then like a random hawk comes down and snatches a rabbit off the ground.
That's
crazy.
I
was just like, this is nuts. And people are carrying on like normal conversations. It's not like in like GTA, they're like, man, we're in the blah blah blah, like random stuff that they spot off. Like they're actually like having a conversation.
That's crazy. Westworld vibes.
Dude, map is so massive. Like it's such a huge map. I just started playing online, and like if you ride your horse from one end of the map to the other, it's like a 45-minute like ride. It's crazy.
I should get back into that. That might
dude,
be
it's
fun.
pretty sweet. And then I was playing before that Warzone, Call of Duty.
Nice. And your favorite game is gonna be Halo 5 because
Halo 5. And, I play with I used to play with my brother-in-law and a couple people, and we played Halo forever. And I'll put it back on. Is it Halo 5 mainly? Is that what you guys play?
Halo 5.
Yeah, that's what we play. We've got a pretty big group. We'll get like
15
pretty frequently we'll get like 8 people to just do local,
Okay.
fight against each other. I mean, we sometimes do like online as well, but local just tends to be more fun because you can just shit talk.
Yeah, for y'all, it's not as fun for me.
But we mix and
but
match.
we're still playing teams. We're still playing.
That's pretty sweet.
But we usually get on.
You're the worst person on the team. It's not very fun.
No.
We'll get
Wheels on the bus, man. You just get in that warthog and just drive your teammates around the whole time.
Yeah. Well, we'll get like 4 people on, and we're playing online, and then somebody will come on after that, and we're like, okay,
time to do local.
Yeah, after you have more than 4, you can't play ranked unless you want to go into like Warzone or what, those big maps.
Team battle.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not as fun.
No.
Yeah.
That feels more like Call of Duty. Like you got to sit there and like strategize and find a nice sniper point and all that. We don't like that. We just like to parkour and throw grenades.
Just want to go in it, dude. Just go in there. Yeah.
We do mix
SWAT
it up.
was always fun. Do you guys remember? Did you ever play SWAT like on Halo 2 and stuff? Halo 2, 3, or just one shot kills essentially to the head?
Oh, that's fun.
We've done similar things before.
Golf clubs.
We did, golf clubs. We did one where we do like low gravity and rockets. That's always
fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sensitivities. What do you guys use when you're playing, sensitivity wise? I'm curious.
0?
Super low.
Well, it changes. It depends on the game. Like in Halo Reach, I had a much higher sensitivity, but in Halo 5, I kind of keep it even lower than the default. Weirdly.
Yeah, me too. I'm like 1 or 2.
I play with mine on 10.
Oh,
Nice.
God.
How do you snipe like that?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know, man. I hold my controller kind of weird. Like I hold it almost like where my thumbs are like almost like not like flat like that, where they're like almost like down, and I just barely move them.
Weird.
Yeah. So
you've got like ultra sensitive thumbs. You're
super like it's like on either 8, like 8 between 8 and 10.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
But
mine-
shotguns, you can just like, flip around. Whoops, sorry. You can just like flip around real fast and just like do it.
Yeah, it helps for spinning around and
Yeah, I
and
can't
whatnot,
spin
but-
around because mine's so slow. Like,
But yeah.
I feel like I have to adjust mine a little bit up and down depending on the day. I swear it changes,
Yeah.
but
How much coffee you've had?
Yeah,
right?
for
Yeah.
sure.
Right.
but mine's been
Or gummies.
drifting. That's the problem. Like at first, it would just drift a little bit in the menus, where like you would go to the menus and it would be going like scrolling through,
Yeah.
and then I could tap it and it would fix it. Now my character actually sits there and like drifts if I don't have the control.
Oh,
So
no.
the
Yeah, mine also,
solution to
like,
that was to buy a whole
walking
new Xbox, of course.
Yeah, so we bought
Yeah,
Xbox.
So it wasn't
of
the
course.
controller? Like all your controllers were doing that?
No. It was the controller, but the solution
Yeah.
to that was to buy a whole new Xbox.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What's
That's
funny
good.
is I was worried that I was going to have to buy new controllers, but apparently the Xbox One controllers work with
Yeah.
the new Xbox.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Very pumped.
Are there any fancy new features from the new Xbox One controllers or anything? Or
I don't know. I don't think
We
so.
don't
Design,
have them yet.
no?
We haven't picked them up yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
we get them Friday.
Keep you updated.
yeah, I'm excited to see how if your Halo skills improve with the new Xbox with the
They won't.
crazy frame rate or anything.
They won't.
Yeah, 4K 60 FPS, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking to both you guys, like
Yeah.
to see if I'm curious what
Yeah.
the difference is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to play on Friday during the day, and then actually we'll probably get it on Thursday because that's when the shipments come in. But yeah,
Cool.
Thursday or Wednesday night, and then we'll
Sounds
play
great.
after we get it.
Heck yeah.
Heck
gonna be
yeah.
fun.
All right, so don't forget niftygateway.com
Yes.
Excited for you, man.
tonight.
I've got my timer going on. It's 3 hours and 1 minute.
Is it? See, I don't
Yeah.
even know. Okay.
Dang. This is one of the longest episodes. We don't usually break 3 hours.
3 hours, and we got 3 hours and 20 minutes and 36 seconds, 35 seconds, 34 seconds till
Oh,
your
you're
drop.
Drop. I thought you were saying that our podcast is over 3 hours already.
Oh, no, we're getting close.
Yeah.
We're getting
We're
close.
we're at 2.5.
Oh, we're
You
at
got-
2.5. Okay.
Control Mechanism, 10 editions, right? Is that right?
Guess so.
All right.
I guess.
10 editions,
Yes, sir.
5K.
So here, look, real quick. This is how it works with these
You're
guys.
gonna make a hot 50 grand right there, and
There's-
then with the
there's
open edition,
no way. There's
oh,
no way.
that's gonna sell out.
I don't think so. And here's
No.
and-
My prediction is you come away with around 100 grand in cash.
There's absolutely no way that's gonna happen.
I bet.
There's no. And here's the thing. So when I gave them these, like, they basically said, like, I didn't upload these to their website. Like, I sent these to them like as Dropbox and said, here's the titles and here's what I'd like them to be. So I couldn't remember what was what, like what I had it set up, because on Super Rare you do it yourself. You do everything yourself.
Yeah,
These guys, you send them your images and they
Oh,
do it all
interesting.
for you. Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, when you guys were saying, well, what is this one? I couldn't. I
Yeah.
didn't know. Yeah. Dude,
And-
there's no.
I will buy an indigenous or two.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you right now up front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this might be my second
I
crypto
may
purchase.
flip it.
Yeah,
Flip it, man. Hey, crap! I
Well.
flipped my own. My brother was like, dude, I'm just gonna buy all your stuff to get the hype going, man, and just turn around and sell it all.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
I was
okay.
looking at Frederick Duquette's some of
Yeah,
his
Fred
drops
Duquette.
that he's done. He
Yeah.
sold one for like $175, you know, with the open editions, and they're currently going for like $2,500 is like the lowest price, you know.
Yeah, I think he's
So-
doing
It'd be
well in that
interesting to
area.
see.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see Bill Ellis. You guys know Bill?
yep.
Mhm.
He's
Bill,
amazing.
like, yeah, he's great, and he just did, I guess, really, really well on his drop
Yeah.
he did a couple days ago.
Kevin got one.
Philip Hodis did a drop. He made like at least 50 or 60 grand.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine that, dude. I can't imagine making that much money with something like
Just
this.
wait
that
till
just
tonight,
blows my mind.
Just wait till tonight.
I don't know.
You're going to be able to afford that pool.
Yeah.
Well, you can't
This is
do,
the first
hopefully.
time I've seen
Yeah.
an edition of 10. Like the edition of 10 thing is actually really cool because that keeps the exclusivity and rarity, but it's enough that you're gonna get, that's probably gonna sell out and you'll get 50 grand out of it. It's my prediction.
Carlo, the link, it's niftygateway.com.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that happens, I'll throw up, man. I don't know. That sounds
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's the
It's-
thing
Alright.
now?
I feel like all the
Yeah,
cool
come on,
people are
everyone.
on Nifty. Like we've
Let's
got
make
Blake
stews or
Catherine.
throw up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanna
I'll
see
host
Stews
it
or
live.
stuff.
I'll do it live.
Yeah, and then you can take the
And then
video
you
and sell it
sell
as
that
crypto.
video.
Yeah, I was going
Yeah.
to say that. Yeah.
and if you guess what I had to eat before, you get a piece of my. I'll send you a blood sample.
Yeah, I'm guessing shells and cheese,
you
right?
Send a piece of you send a piece of the vomit. You know.
Yeah.
The chunk that you guessed.
Yes.
You get it with the
You eat shells and cheese, and then you can give one shell out with each.
Per purchase.
But yeah, I was gonna say like all the cool kids are getting on Nifty Gateway. We've got Fritz Duquette, F-Render, and Blake Catherine is made a killing. Like her drop was so cool, and
that Beeple guy.
That Beeple guy, and also like Kid Mograph, and did a really sick. That was one that I really wanted to buy, but I didn't end up buying it, and I kind of wish I had because I really love that one. The motorcycle kind of like anime vibes. That was super cool.
Yeah. Maybe you'll be on there at some point.
Maybe I would like to. Yeah.
Yeah. Was
Cornelius is he on Nifty or is he on Super Rare?
Who?
Cornelius.
Cornelius is on Super Rare. He needs to be on Nifty. He is not making enough for his drops. It makes me sad.
I agree 100%.
If anybody should be making crazy money on Nifty, it should be him.
Yes. His stuff is just, it's a whole other thing. So
yeah.
And Vicky was asking about reselling. How do you resell crypto? On Nifty, it's very easy. It's like a couple buttons. You just say, "Oh, I want to put this up for sale," and you say how much.
Yep.
It's that.
You have a collection, right? Like a collections page, and you can click on it and then sell it from there.
But just remember, once it sells,
the Justin Roiland drop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was a Justin
and then there was the
drop.
G-Monk drop as well. Yeah. It's all the homies.
But once it sells, okay, like you can't just put it up and then someone's like, yeah, I'll totally buy it for that much, and then you could say, never mind. Like, if you put it up and it sells, it's already gone. Just keep that in mind. There's no turning back on that. I also there's something going on. I'll have to look this up a little bit more because I don't understand this about how much energy it takes to do crypto art.
Yeah,
Gavin,
that's a touchy subject.
We should talk about this.
What's the deal?
You can heat 5,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools for 100 million years or something like that.
I don't understand this, though.
Well, it's electricity usage.
People's usage is much, much worse than that. There was a whole article put out about it because I guess of all of the, you guys are crypto mining. There's a lot of, compute power that people are like pumping at this thing to constantly.
Yes, but that's also assuming that the energy is all coming from, like gas power or coal. All of my electricity is all through renewable. Like I can specifically choose renewable energy, so I know when I'm mining, I'm
What does that have to do with the art, though? Is it saying that the token?
So the token that you are,
it's always being re-verified, right? Any transactions on the blockchain are causing that energy cost, right? And that's the same thing is true with trading crypto and buying crypto art. It's not that the image itself is stored on the blockchain, as Beeple said. It's just the token associated with it. But all of the verifying that's done to make sure that this is truly a one-of-a-kind thing, and this is this specific number of this edition. All of those things are requiring tons of compute power. So somebody in that thread.
Hello.
We're back. Somebody in that thread said that Ethereum 2.0 is going to matter a ton because it's going to be maybe more efficient in terms of the energy usage.
All right.
Yeah. Waveform says phone hosting is the answer, and that kind of reminds me of Silicon Valley.
Yeah, Silicon Valley.
Just put them all on the phones, right? And then they blow up.
Totes.
All right. So we talked about the drop. David, your course. By the way, how's everything going? Before we get out of here, you got to push the course a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. Like all the students are constantly blowing my mind with insane renders, just like so much better than I feel like I could have even done. Like it's really weird to release this thing where I'm like, I thought I did pretty well, and then the students are like, let me one up you, and it's like it's kind of cool because I've given them a blank slate, and the blank slate could be like this very detailed cyberpunk city, but then they're like, ooh, I'll make the road curved, and I'll create this really cool intricate story with characters already when I haven't even introduced characters, and they're already jumping way ahead, and they're just like. Because like there's so many pros in the course too. I'd say the average person in the course is like intermediate to advanced. Artist, and I'm really excited to see them get into camera movement, because I feel like that's a weak spot for so many people. So many Instagram artists that are great at creating these beautiful images don't know how to turn them into cinematic stories and like, cut them together into an edit. And there's a lot more, there's a lot further you can take that. And I'm really excited to see these artists kind of expand into that world. So that's like almost it's like 4 or 5 lessons out of the course are just on camera movement. So it's actually divided into thirds. So it's like 1/3 composition. We're learning all these compositional skills, but in the context of Octane and building out bigger environments and all these techniques. And then it's 1/3 lighting and all the lighting geekery and really deep diving on that and trying a bunch of lighting setups on the same render. And which is something people often don't do. They'll just like drop in some lights and they're like, I think this is good enough. And then they call it, and so I'm really like trying to get students to focus on lighting with area lights and, sometimes HDRIs as well, like combining those and all that. And then, the last third is camera movement and like tons of like geekery on, just analyzing films and motion design pieces and why they're working. And, so like kind of seeing through my eyes, there's like big 2-hour long training your eye segments. But then also going in and executing the move. So I try to make the course a good combination of like the theory components where you're learning the whole, just the theory behind everything, and then actually going in and executing those things. So it's not just one or the other. And so far it's going really, really well. Everybody is super energized in the Facebook group. I'm answering messages like crazy and playing tech support 24/7 and trying to keep everybody pumped up and stuff and continuing on with the homework. So it's really fun. And like every day somebody, like there will be 2 or 3 people that just drop things into the group that blow my mind, that are completely unique and different, that I wouldn't have thought anybody would create. And
Sarah Gibson did one the other day that was just
she's done a bunch of amazing ones, and so is Kenza. She's in the group, and there's tons of people. Carlo's in here, and Dane, and it's an awesome group of people, and loving it.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. All right.
Logan's in here. He's one of our famous QR testers and another Unreal Engine expert.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
he actually like did all the conversions so I had this scene on the short film that I was working on, and the only available model was from Unreal that I liked, because it was this cyberpunk apartment that looked really amazing. And I was like, can we go from Unreal back to cinema? Because usually you go from cinema to Unreal, and that's like Unreal kind of makes it hard to do that process. And I contacted the artist on CG Trader, and I was like, can we, convert this? And of course he didn't respond to me for weeks. So I just like went ahead and purchased it. I just bought it. I was like, screw it. It's like $60 or whatever it is. Logan helped me. Like we went back and forth until all the maps were converted. It wasn't like a seamless process. I still had to go and manually relink every texture. There's probably like a slightly better way to do that perhaps. But it all came in and looked just as good as it did in Unreal. And then, Octane's light can be slightly more photorealistic, but just how it looked in Unreal was incredible. It's like super, super detailed. The decals were the only thing that didn't come over. So I didn't get the nice graffiti, because that's a separate, like Unreal handles that with weird stickers that aren't like really attached to the textures. So that didn't come over because it's a totally different system, but the rest of it came over great. So that was really cool.
Cool.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna ski-daddle out of here.
Yep.
All right. Stuart, you
3
are...
hours.
Yeah.
T-minus 3 hours.
You are Stuzor. You are Stuzor. STUZ 0 R.
That elite, man. Keeping it elite.
All right. Keeping it elite. And, of course, David Ariev is David Ariev. ArievVisuals.com. You can find him everywhere. The Jesus, the Octane Jesus. And we'll post all the links to all the things into the show notes, which you can get on... you can either get it in the description of the show. If you are listening on the podcast, you can get that. It's in a kind of a weird place. You can kind of go down to the bottom of your podcatcher of choice, click on notes, and that's usually where you find it. Just depends on which version. Sometimes they're kind of hard to find, so I thought I'd put that out there. Let's see. You can rate us on iTunes, leave a review. You can also subscribe on your podcatcher of choice, help get our ratings up. Get on there and be like, hey, this show's awesome. You should download it. Get our ratings up
Hey.
there.
Hey, this show's awesome.
Hey, you guys. And subscribe to our newsletter. It goes out every now and then. Just about every month. Usually a little longer than a month, like 5 weeks. By the time I get back around to it every time.
Almost 2 months.
Almost. You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the Mograph logo tee, the Paul Babb Feel the Bab vintage Paul Babb Feel the Bab 2020 shirt.
Yes.
All the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders, the Render Things t-shirt, hoodie, and long sleeve tee. That Render is Fire shirt, which you're only allowed to wear ironically. Unless you're shams. And the Mograph Blandishment shirt, which you can get now as well. So check that out. And we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, mograph.com. Check us out on all the things and send us lots of fun messages.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's about it.
I'm hungry. Let's get out of here.
Me too.
Nice. Me too.
Good talk, y'all. Good talk.
Yeah.
That was a marathon. That was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stuart
It
Davis,
was
thanks for
great
being
to
on the show.
finally hang out. Stu.
IRL, kind of.
Stuart.
kinda.
Stuart.
Yeah.
As IRL as we can get.
As IRL as we get right now.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
True. Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody, listening on the stream live and all of that. Make sure you go get yourself a copy of one of these pieces of art on Nifty. And if you're listening to this not live, sorry, you already missed it. You gotta buy it at the marked up price.
Yep.
Bam.
You're gonna help me build my pool.
There
Yeah.
you go.
There you go.
I'll buy it back from you.
There we go.
$50,000.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Just one crypto drop.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. We're gonna get out of here. Till next time. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
Stuart.
David.
Have a good one.
Later, yo.
Later, yo. I like your rendition.
Mograph.com, an online resource.